ladies and gentlemen. And it's time to say hello and welcome to another splendid edition of the program, ASHFORD GARLEY Live on Bridge Radio Africa. Coming your way from Detroit, Michigan. Oh man, it feels great to be back home. I know some heard the name and some heard people talk about them. Well, you've gotten the opportunity tonight to match the name to the face and voice. Make yourselves feel at home. And now, if this is your first time joining this platform, all you have to do is just follow us so that when we come back with our subsequent broadcast, you will also be in the know. Very shortly, as soon as we get signal from our special guest, the Chairman Emeritus of the Congress for Democratic Change, Mr. George G. Solo. He will be live tonight. You might want to share the video. Invite a few friends. Grab something to drink. Get the popcorn rolling. We are going to have all kinds of fun tonight. I was listening to my red man Steve Harvey the other day, and he said, the road to success is always under construction. The road to success is always under construction. There will be times where the road might seem tough and rough. There will be times where you want to give up in life. But you got to keep pushing. You got to stay strong. You can't give up. There will be times where you feel you have been used by people for their own selfish gain, just to get somewhere. Through you, you have to stay strong. God is not finished with you yet. He's not ready for you yet. So you got to keep knocking. You got to keep pushing. Don't give up. Your time is coming. Don't give up. Your time is coming. With that said, folks, by way of introduction, this is the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. The height of a man is never known until he rises, and there's no second chance to make that first impression. A bald-headed man does not walk on the moonlight. You can't hide your nakedness from being bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia. But now you know me, Garley. I'm ASHFORD GARLEY. Welcome to the show. Folks, all kinds of strange things are happening in our country. We need to pray for Liberia. We need to pray for the people of Liberia. 4 deaths in less than 2 weeks. People that do the same kind of work. What is going on? What do you know? Somebody needs to speak up. Somebody needs to say something. Listen, You can loot the entire country. Again, what thing I know said. You can take all you want, but still spare the lives of these mothers, these fathers. They have kids that will never see their parents again. This is just not fair to these young kids. What do they say? Where is your father? Where is your mom? How do they respond? What are you going to say? Big question. Let's find out. Again, we're still waiting for our guest. He's a high-profile guest. I don't know what's going on. Just got off the phone with him about 4 minutes ago. We're still looking forward to seeing him. And as soon as he appears, you will hear from him. And that's the former chairman of CDC. One of the best when it comes to Liberian politics. Tough talking, fearless. He helped give birth to what we're in now. What does he have to say? What he has on his mind? After 3 years of President George Weah, we want to hear from George G. Solo. Once one of the closest people to President Weah. And he's going to talk tonight. Nothing is off limit, according to him. He has something to say. So brace yourselves. Don't get frustrated. We're still trying to make contact with him. And as soon as we get him, you will see him live. Stay tuned. Invite a few friends. Let's have fun. To say hi to a few folks out here tonight who have taken up time of the busy schedule just to form part of the production tonight. Magdalene Mayunga, Patience D. Slow, my own little cousin. Amos Weeford, Orlando Chenoweth, Dewey FBN, Eddie Willie Moen. Six Pack, Delta Labla Bassi. We'll also see Raymond Haggard, Benno Stewart, Lopo Zika, Vendel Campbell, Grace Corentin Gore, Edo Smith, C. Modupi Hideo, Justice Weir, Samuel B. Bellet, Princess Fiona, Aloysius Nelson, Jefferson Kekula, Martha Gay, the great J.B. Soare, Emmanuel Sabas is in the building. Saba Richard Saba is also in the building tonight. Bolot Aisha Cole Howard, Mike Sandy, Alvin Perry as always. The elder James C. Blythe, Abdullah Kiatama. Wow. Strong names in the building tonight. Everybody wants to get a piece of George G. Solo. Very interesting Liberian politician. Because nobody knows what he's going to say next. He has a message for the ruling establishment. He also has a message for the opposition. So get set as we prepare to welcome Mr. George G. Solo. Man, don't tell me say you fall asleep. All that school now hold tonight. Everybody waiting for you now. Tell you how did he first make President Weah? What went wrong? And he has a lot to say, folks. I want to ask him, why is he on the outside looking in after he worked so hard for this? And don't get me wrong, he has answers for all these questions. And I will ask you tonight, folks, to keep it clean, be respectful of the platform, be respectful of our guests. Be respectful of our guests, please. There are other platforms that can use the other names, the full letter words, but yeah, keep it clean, please. Okay, we respect you, respect us as well. Okay, thank you. Mr. Daniel Rogers, Josephine Love missing, Jeremiah M. Jackson, Paul Smith, Mr. Moses, get discouraged. You know, some of these high-profile guests, perhaps he's struggling to get through the system, but he's on his way. I know, Joey, I said Washington there, not easy. Mrs. Elizabeth Matu Totten White is in the building. Abu Bebeto for finance, Sylvester's Constance. Oh, man. I said this earlier. Please respect the platform. So we'll have no alternative but to just block you, you know. And sometimes within the come here and have some civilized conversation instead of just going back and forth with profanities, you know. Don't say I didn't tell you because me, I could have hit the black button. Remedy. Lovely ender, running from himself, running from Morovia, running to Morovia. Remedy, Don Gerard Newman. I don't want to jump into conclusion, but I hope you're trying to combo. Yeah. When you use this to make call and don't show up, I don't know where to make it. I just hope this is not the case. And I'm just hoping that you're trying to make your way through. You're taking call and don't appear. Me out. And I like you. I will talk. one of the reasons why Mr. Solo wants to come on this, say he wants to confess to the Liberian people. He said he failed Liberia. And he said the ruling establishment also failed Liberia. And the opposition failed Liberia as well. And he said the Liberian people are suffering. They will continue to suffer. Because they all failed Liberia. And he said he wants to express that tonight. So please bear with us, folks. And he will also be revealing some things. Something that you never knew about CDC and its leadership. He has a lot to talk about tonight. And we're still trying to make contact with him. We just spoke to him about 10 minutes ago. I hope nothing strange happened. George, the people are waiting for you. The guests are tired. They want to hear you. They want to see you. Ellis Wapo, find George, man. Ellis Wapo. So then you won't come. We're gonna trouble there. You better show face, eh? I don't know Crown people to be afraid, you know. If I can't do something, I will say I can't do it. I will not agree to something and then time comes, then your feet get cold. Because the same way your friend man put on try to say one leg at a time, and the same way you put on try to say, why are you afraid of? You know? Yeah, man. as we wait for George to come, we're going to do something a little different. When he pops up, so be it. This is completely unprofessional. You can't, keep us standing this long, man, So we'll talk about the recent deaths. 4 deaths in less than 2 weeks in Liberia, and they all do the same line of work. And joining me to discuss that is one of the old hands in the business. He's been around politics for a minute. He was around for the Turbot, the Dole, the Tiller, the Ellen, and now Weah. He's related to everybody because everybody cousins. So, and then we'll also open up the telephone line and have you put yourselves in the shoes of those little kids who would never see their parents again. And we are still waiting for evidence. We're still waiting for the police to tell us what happened. But if for some reason you are trying to silence people because they're trying to expose you, then you know deep in your heart and in your mind that what you were doing in the first place is completely wrong. You asked for change. For 12 years, you kept knocking the door. When you finally got the change, look at what we get in return. Look at what we have in return. Is that the change that you promised the Liberian people? You promised the Liberian people change. Is that change for alleged killings? We don't know what happened, but we can't seem to solve murders or alleged murders. The country. How do you attract investors with that kind of trouble? The social media is flooded with bad news from our country. The local radio stations are all flooded with bad news from our country. So, as we wait for the chairman emeritus of the CDC, I want to bring in tonight Mr. Sam P. Jackson, who will tell us a little bit of what he knows about the suspicious deaths recently in our country. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you Mr. Sam P. Jackson.
That's how you, sir. Can you hear me, Ashford?
Yes, I can hear you, Sam.
Oh, okay, basically, it is a very, these deaths are very tragic.
People don't usually do this to me, Sam, They will call me and tell me and say, you know what, for some reason I can't show up, but you can allow me to get the promo going, and just spoke to you about 3 or 4 minutes before the show, and you bail out on. I mean, I really don't like that, and uh, if he doesn't show up, he's gonna get a piece of my mouth. But hello and welcome to the show, Sam.
Yes, basically, yeah. I mean, I was very excited to hear from my friend and brother George Solo because he hasn't been vocal for a while, and I was interested to hear what he has to say. Unfortunately, and I'm sure the reason for not showing up tonight. But you asked me a very important question. The question you asked me is about the recent spate of deaths in Liberia. And Ashford, I don't like to judgment. You know, I like to analyze things. I'm an expert, so I believe in evidence. But it's clear that those four deaths really, really jarring to the consciousness of the country. And I'd like to see officials of our government, especially our president, make some very strong steps about it to address the Liberian people and uh, try to implement something as quickly as possible investigation. I think the most important thing for now would be at least to tell us, the causes of deaths of those four people. And you may say, well, the other two seem like accidents. The one with my friend and brother Emmanuel Ninswa, and the other one with this young man from the LRA who supposedly had. But guilty of young people from the LRA whose were found in broad daylight on Broad Street really is out for a very close examination, and it does appear, if you have any two brain cells, that there appear to be some degree of foul play on those steps. You know, I also have information on Mr. Yinswa, but I'm not, not in terms of what happened there, but in terms of his home, what his home looked like, what a door. So all of those things that I don't like to, get involved in it. I like to hear from the appropriate authorities, but I'm very much concerned. Yinswa is a good friend of mine. We graduated probably maybe 5 years earlier than he did. Johnson Wales University in Rhode Island. My shipper, I know why went there for Pawtucket, stayed out there for me. So I'm just very concerned about the circumstances of those deaths.
And Sam, I'd agree with you. You see, I'm not a fan of breaking news because I like to wait for the facts, and sometimes that's why I'm slow in talking. You gather the facts before you can come and speak. But would you then agree that the president spoke last week prematurely when he said it was boyfriend and girlfriend business?
Well, that there is something about that. I have repeated that to a friend of mine whom I respect very highly in Monrovia, and he is saying that the president didn't say that. And he sent me a recording of what he said the president said. So as for you're in the media, did
Mhm.
what did you get an audio or a video of the statement that he made? Was it a public statement about the boyfriend girlfriend business?
I can't authenticate that as well. I mean, uh, that's what we're hearing. When I don't for one know for a fact that he said that. I was just asking if you heard it. If
Yeah,
you
but
heard, heard he said
yeah, but yeah, one of my friends sent me an audio today because I have mentioned that to him in a private conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
he disputed that. And of course, he's not a sedition, but he's a pretty prominent gentleman in the community with some very good reaches within society. So he sent me this audio that I'm going to send to you. What the president said. I basically heard him saying something about condolences to the family, but I think he should be much more. Um, he should be he should make stronger statements. He should address the people, and I think the police also, should come up as quickly as possible and talk about the circumstances concerning those deaths, and at least to, allay the fears of the population by telling the people of Liberia that this is what happened. We don't have all the facts yet, but we have an investigative team looking at it, and at least with Gifty and that Peter's young man, it's been nearly what 10 days now, something like that. It wouldn't take 10 days to determine the cause of deaths of two people that were discovered in an automobile, in the middle of Broad Street. Because you need to calm the fears of people.
But will you then say
Liberia always talks about
will you then say
attracting foreign
that
investment.
he's coming out of his comfort zone a little bit when you heard him say yesterday that uh, the alarming rate at which people are dying, uh, he wants investigation, and he's calling for the Americans to come and help with the investigation to see what is happening in the country. I mean, for the first time, we heard him
Yeah, yeah, look,
getting out of the church to say something.
yeah. Well, that is a little bit comforting, but not too comforting to me for the following reasons. What it tells me a few things. The first thing it tells me that he doesn't believe that the public trust the police and the authorities. So if they were to mount an investigation and were to come up with finding, the public will not accept that explanation. Okay, that's one. Number two is he believes that he wants to get I get public acknowledgement that the Americans will be willing to work with him on a situation like this, you know. Then the third thing it tells me is really that Liberia is Liberia is a very sad case because if we cannot do something as simple as forensic examination and a pathology on some dead people in our country, the 173-year-old country, that is very revealing about who we are. Ashford, you don't think so?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, So, however way you shake it, however way you shake it, it looks like a pretty damning situation. However way you look at it, and for the sake of our country, I really hope that the president can can use some of these incidents that are coming up to call for national unity. You and I had a talk one time about national unity. And I think the president should call for national unity in view of the fact that there are a lot of tension within the country. You know, tension, adversaries of the government versus the government, and a lot of things are happening that you have an election coming up, and the adrenaline flowing from both sides of the political divide. You have people making statements, and then in the midst of this now, you have these full unexplained or death circumstances. So Liberia is our home. As for it doesn't belong to one individual, one political party, or it doesn't even belong to it. Not even to an individual. Liberia is nobody's farm. all of us, our naval strengths are buried there, and even those who are naturalized in that country, all Liberians. And the way things are looking now, Liberians need to come together, and only one person can bring us together. George Mani Weah, the head of the country, if he were to, let go of his ego, let go of some of his insecurities, and reach out, because actually, I always tell people, I'm not interested in making a pact or a compact with the government per se as an individual, Samuel Jackson. But if the government of Liberia were to indicate its seriousness about development and were to say they want to put a team together, why I myself may not want to be a part of that team, but I could certainly help to motivate that by getting international consensus and mobilize international resources to get qualified individuals in the different sectors, whether it's in the health sector to improve the medical facilities in the country, or whether it's agriculture to increase output, or whether it's to help with tourism, or whether it's to help with governance, or in whatever we can
Now,
do.
now, now, Mr.
You
Jackson,
know,
let,
but
let me
I'm not just individual.
let me ask you this. Do you really think we'll find out the cause of the deaths of these people? I mean, this is serious. Four deaths from the same line of work. While it is true that we have no facts or evidence yet, we have got to be very careful too as we, uh, tell the world about how some of these people die. If you listen to how people describe the death of the third guy, that he was in a car. I don't know how fast he was going, and how possible it is, Sam. How possible it is for you to be driving in a car and somebody on the pin would take a machetes and split your head open. How do you explain that, Sam?
Yeah, no, but here is the thing, and you and I agreed earlier on that we don't want to jump the gun and come to conclusions. Yes, circumstance appear unnerving, and it looks like there was some degree of criminality involved with that, because four deaths is like lightning striking four times. Okay, and especially the last two deaths with gashes to the backs of their heads. It does that, but it requires further examination, and it requires leadership. That leadership has to come from the government. The number one obligation of is practical security for the people in the country, right? It makes it getting information from governing authority.
I don't know what happened to the internet today, man. For some reason, you got the poor quality of the internet today, Sam. What happened?
Internet. Well, I don't know. I'm trying
Connection is very poor.
to get move different. Seems good. That can you see me?
I can see you. I can see you. And
Okay, so,
we will also call you on the phone. We'll also open up the phone line. Just ping the number up there. Sam, I think I should call you on the phone. Uh, So call it and tell us if we are going to solve the passing of these 4 people. And of
Are you
course,
there,
the number.
Ashford?
Yeah, I'm here, Sam. I think you sound a little bit better. Go ahead and say something.
No, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better. Yeah, go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that if we need to resolve these issues, it will require leadership at the highest level in the country to ensure that we can resolve fundamental issues of governance and of security
Sam,
of the
hold 1 minute,
country.
please. Hello?
I am
Hold on,
President
Sam.
Liberia to
Hello, Mr. Solo?
Yeah, yes, hello, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. George Solo on the line from Minnesota, I believe. And Mr. Solo, hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashford. Thanks for having me.
Now, who is George Solo? For the sake of the audience, tell us a little bit about George Solo.
Well, I think the audience will be quite aware. I was the chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change. And I led the CDC into leadership. Hard work, commitment, strategy. We push left, we push right. And, it'll be difficult to find somebody to deny that the effort that we put forward is what made the CDC present itself for leadership today. I'm not going to get into that debate with anyone. You can call George Weah himself. He knows whose strategy and who guidance help him to be leader today.
Tell us about your relationship with George Weah. How did you get to meet George Weah?
Look, I met George Weah years ago. I was a promising entrepreneur. I had money. George Weah needed my money. CDC needed my money. They needed to build a political alliance around a strong thought. And I put my money and I put my effort to that. And, whether it's from wherever, from the time I became chairman of the CDC, I fought to make sure that the interest of the Liberian people is represented. So call him. You have a number, ask for your journalist. Call him. Call all the people behind him and ask them who made CDC what it is today. Their one name will come up. Sadly, and our name is George Solo.
But what happened after you worked so hard, Mr. Solo?
Nothing happened.
No, something must have happened, Mr. Solo.
No. As for, you see, God is a merciful and just God. Where He wants you to be is where you will be. Humans cannot decide where you will be. It's God who decides where you will be. I'm comfortable. I'm working. I'm earning a very viable living. Now, if you compare it to the Liberian society today, where they're killing people left and right, they're stealing left and right, it's not equivalent. So God have done what He is supposed to do for me. The question on this show becomes, does George Weah know what God has for him? When you get a fucking ass or a carrot and wearing $25,000 shoe, does he know what God has for him? When you have ministers sitting around you, our educational system is in ruin. Do you know what God has for you? As for the question is not for me. Often I tell people, you ask me, oh, Solo, where are you? I'm vice president of human resources for a billion-dollar company I'm living. Where are you? I'm in Liberia. I'm honoring the leadership of George Weah. I am not safe. I don't have food to eat. I don't have money to go to the supermarket. Yeah. The real conversation that was over here, Ashford. Because you know the fucking accident.
Mr. Soto, Mr. Soto, please watch the language. I know you can get excited and get emotional, but please.
But you know, I'm a private citizen, so when you talk to me, when I want to say fucking ass,
No, I understand that, but I please respect. I know you price. Please respect the platform. I beg you, Mr. Solo. I beg you.
That CBC leadership there, right now. Right now. Convince me.
Nah, okay. Now, Mr. Solo, George.
It's your job to convince me that Liberia is
George,
better.
I should be asking you. Look what you fought for and look what we have. Does this represent what you fought for in 3 years of this leadership?
No.
But then you did not treat the Liberian people right.
No, ASHFORD. Let's be realistic. I fought for the right to live. I fought for the right to eat. I fought for the right for democracy. I fought for the right for our brothers and sisters to live in peace and harmony and have a source of income. You know, everybody make the mistake. I never fought for Weah. I never fought for anyone. I fought for the Liberian people. I fought for the Liberian people through Weah. So if Weah pick up today, he's the leader of the nation and become an asshole. And he's a greedy motherfucker. And he wearing $25,000 shoes. And the children don't have classroom to sit down in to get paper. He bring a Jamaican where he bring a parent in London and making millions. And our people don't have hospital to go to. How is it possible for you to come and say you fought for Weah? No, I fought for a fucking ideology. And that ideology is that every Liberian should wake up in the morning and go to work. That ideology is that every brother and sister should be able to feed their children. That ideology that I fought for and that I will always fight for ASHFORD is an ideology that is related to equality. So when people limit your fight, we fought early. We fought the inconsistencies in our politics. We fought the wrongs. We fought the people who we believe wanted to deprive our people. If you want to equate that to Weah, you can do that. Yeah, but Weah is just a plebeian. He's just another person. One man who we use to liberate our people. If he is not a liberator, we'll remove him.
But he has first 6 years, and then he will go for the next 6 years. You can't get removed.
You cannot get 6 more years.
Say that again.
Weah cannot get 6 more years.
Weah is still popular with the people of Liberia. How can you remove him, Mr. Solo?
ASHFORD, my father and mother always told me the way you pick where you make all your pay, that way you later on it. A Liberian poor make all their pay with incompetent Weah, who national security is an issue. He ain't know a left foot from a right foot. A Liberian poor make all their pay with him. Fuck them. Let them go for 6 more years. Let them eat dust. The issue of democracy is people right. People have the right to choose. If the Liberian people choose to suffer, let them suffer. Weah is a plebeian. He see the paper in front of him right now. That motherfucker can I even read?
So you gotta slow down with calling the name, cutting names, man. Please. I mean, this is not the platform for that.
ASHFORD, you call George Solo, a Liberian citizen living in the US, and you ask me for my opinion, and I will give you my opinion. Tell me emeritus for the Congress for Democratic Change. That's Weah where you see so. Even the pre-wagon where the Louis Vuitton pre-wagon where I've been used to buy it bills, a wealth, whether a cable or what, I mean used to pay it. I'm not afraid of Weah. I'm not afraid of anybody in Liberia. My name God here, I'm a crown man.
But why you ran away from Liberia? And you ran away from Weah?
No, ASHFORD, reduce the conversation from running away to move forward and progress your life. Those are two different things. I'll run away from crew, man. I'm a crime man. I'll run away from crew, man. No. You will kill me. If my people are not safe, if the Liberian people continue to be where they are, Joe Weah get me to contend with. So when you're real talk about Joe Weah, you're talk about him like he's an extra figure.
So,
you know, 50 times 50 that
George.
plays. No, Joe Weah is a simple man who don't even know a power. He's a pastor. The man was a prostitute from club to club in Liberia. Mr.
Solo.
The power does not recognize him. So if you want me, George Solo, from the United States of America, I mean, who say now, say bedroom, say bathroom. I made over $10,000 a month. And you want me to come back to reiterate the value of Joe Weah, then ASHFORD, I got a problem with you.
How often?
Joe Weah is a pastor.
But I think we're gonna end this interview because I mean it's not healthy and I can't stand this, George. You have to refrain from calling names, please. I beg you.
He's a pastor. He's the son of a prostitute. And you get Joe, we have 3 pieces of paper here right now.
I'm afraid I can't continue this, George. I'm afraid I can't continue this.
I'll wait for you. You lead your direction.
I called you, but I didn't call you to be insulting on the platform. I told you this place is not where you come and insult. So please minimize the names calling.
ASHFORD, you asking me.
I understand you're angry, but you don't have to.
No. ASHFORD. We cannot be critical. He asked me to tell a high school dropout that is educated. I will not do it. I will never.
But since when did you realize that he was high school dropout? You fought for him 12 years. You fought hard. According to you are one of the reasons why he's president today. You didn't know you were a high school dropout when you supported him and made him our president?
I knew.
But then what do you have to say to the Liberian people?
ASHFORD, you are giving me a chance to explain. If you want to be emotional, then we'll leave the call.
But you more emotional than me. You're more emotional than me.
Because I am very emotional because I want to communicate to the Liberian people that they George Mane, Tikomla Weah CSO. He can read, he can write. That's what Liberia looking at. That's what people die every day. Hey, you want me to change my language? Since you are the moderator, I will change my language.
Please do. Please do. I know you can better express yourself without insults. I know you very well.
ASHFORD, let's fast forward. The president of the Republic of Liberia is incompetent. He does not have the capacity, he does not have the values, and he does not have the integrity to lead our nation forward. I will leave the personal issue. Anyone but not leave the personal issue. Let's get into the tribe of who Joe Weah is. Joe Weah, what told you he work anywhere? Which company he work for?
George Weah said he worked for the telecom when he played soccer back in the day as a technician, as a switchboard operator, telecom, Liberia Telecommunication.
Okay, now let me give you Joe Weah real information. Joe Weah is a special. So we are work with Liberia Telecommunication Corporation. He used to go to West Point when the people bringing a weed on the water. He the one used to expose them. All the people there in West Point and Carrollton, all the weed seller there that Joe Weah exposed them. Joe Weah was an informant. 5 hours now. Go to Google and check informant. Why is an informant? Is a man who could now with other people to bring things in later on inform the government. So we have a special for the day, man, point. Fast forward, ask me any question you get for me, ASHFORD.
How often do you talk to George Weah?
Once a week, he calls me, general today. Babe, I don't call it, what's up? Yeah, no, I'm babe, I don't call it for you. I'm babe, I don't call it for you.
But this man is still your friend. There are some things that you go to your grave with that you know about George Weah, and that's something he will also go to your grave that he knows because you guys were inseparable, George.
I will carry pennies into my grave. I pay that motherfucker.
Hey, my man, we're coming in the interview now.
No, stop now.
We're coming in the interview because you ready, yeah?
About everyone. The president of the Republic of Liberia, George Mane Weah. All the football where he play, when he finish, he never have 50 cents. I wouldn't want to support him. Yeah. We pay lead pay, we pay water pay, will pay a cable bill. I can send you right now a document of his cable bill I pay. When you look, ASHFORD, let me tell you something, ASHFORD. You know, I'm in the West. I'm working. My family is good. I'm good. You know, I don't have time for that Liberia conversation. But if that conversation have to come up, you know what I'll ask you? I will ask all the listening audience, for one fucking time in our life, let's be honest. Let's be honest. If you get any question to ask me about George Manning, we are asking tonight, I will answer you. I will not insult anybody. He don't owe me. I don't owe him. He don't pay my mortgage. I don't pay him mortgage.
Nathaniel McGill was your Secretary General when you served as chairman.
Secretary General, brought him from Winston Tolmont.
But he's one of he's the most powerful man in the country now today.
It's good. There are people dying. The most powerful man in the country that we're talking about. The first day Nathaniel McGill read in front of me and Joe, we are not, you know Joe, we are calling McGee. I said, my man, this is not your name. Your name is McGill. He said, any name when the chief call me, hey, this is the kind of, oh, man, I'm in the blessing of the West. I'm comforted. Nobody can come to my house. The chaplain will call it tonight. Nathaniel McGill, the man only, the president cannot pronounce it. The president call him McGee. The man say, chairman, any name when the man call me that name, I accept. Your government name that is on your ID, the man call it wrong. He said, chairman, any name when the man call me that name, I take. Is that somebody who's will be minister of state? My man, ASHFORD, you know what? Let me tell you, I just come from barbecuing. I don't get a story for Liberia.
George, you nurtured and mentored a lot of folks who have become more powerful in the country now. The likes of Samuel D. Toy.
Yeah, you know what Samuel Toy in Liberia?
No.
2014 election, called Chubby Charlie. I called Samuel Toy. He said, Joe, we are against speed on me, against speed on him. Because Samuel Toy came back to America and he said, Joe, we are faggot. I came back, I rented a car for him. I brought him back to CDC. And I said that in the midst of all these differences, we are stronger. Call Samuel Toy Jenna. If Samuel Toy get on your phone, Jenna, he argue with you that what I say is lie. Put phone on your phone, eat it. When you be talking about Joe, we are Samuel Toy, Nathaniel McGill, you be trying to put in extra people. No, they are all corrupt people. They are all abusing our people. For the time Joe, we have some professional contract. He said, I will wear Louis Vuitton. For the time Samuel Toy, Joe, we I say, I will praise you so I can get what I get. Nathaniel McGill, for the time Joe CDC. Yeah. I mean, George G. Cortier Solo telling you, for the time Nathaniel McGill, John CDC, you know, he said, anything to we are say that, hey. But actually, let's be real. Don't confront me. If you confront me, I will confront you. Because I am ideologue. I don't live for people. I live for ideology. So, all the facts that I'm giving you tonight, and I will say it right in front of you, Joe Weah is the most corrupt president Liberia ever seen. His government now is leading Liberia to the most corrupt stage where it will not even be possible for us to get out of it. Then he said, oh, that's your brother, that's your friend. We live in the same house. We wear the same priest. And I come to you, ask for I tell you, say the man are fucking real. Then he say, oh, what your language? Georgie, take down. Oh, Georgie, I'll call you or call me or you won't call me off. If you don't want to hear the truth, if the Brempo don't want to hear the truth, call me off.
Let me ask you this, George.
Yeah.
The George Weah you know, you both exchanged honor clothing, like you said. Now, people can get angry the way the country is going. You think George Weah, look, we know George ought to be for peace. You think George Weah is capable of killing somebody?
No, he is capable of killing somebody. And let me tell you something about our money where I know. I have no intention to come to that bureau. That man where you see down there, so if you have to kill to maintain his name, he will kill. So Weah is a man who his name is more important than anything else. So we will kill somebody tonight in the morning. You will go to that same fucking clan. That fucking clan there, that grandma chest. You know, I'm not praying. A grandma pray for him. The witchcraft weapon away in a grandma was living. She will close fucking clan.
I used to say the man in witchcraft business, the man I passed, the man get charged. Then you say the man in witchcraft business.
You know what? Let me tell you something. George Solo on your station today, like people listening. I tell you, I said that George, we are man, see that witchcraft. When you look at the man about way. You know why about way? You know why about way?
No.
Hey, you look at George, we are told China black. You look at it, Tony black. You know what? Yeah, he's a representative of Satan. And let me tell you something. And maybe you're coming on.
No, don't cause so. Please don't cause. I beg you.
And la people don't get rid of that man. And la people don't get rid of George Weah. George Money Weah. A wife, Cloud Weah. All a family, Marco Tuken, and all the people. And la people don't get rid of them. Trust me. You will swim in your misery for a long time. Because let me tell you something about George Weah. When you wake up in the morning, you think about himself. When you go to bed, you think about himself. You ain't thinking about nobody else besides himself. Yeah. And you know what? Call me or you won't call me or.
Hey, don't.
Yeah, George Weah, when you see that, so yeah, I'll put it in crew. He's a unit chair. William. Prince Nelson. Just name all George Weah friends who struggle with him. And give me the name of one and everyone near him. One. As for I challenge you, there's a political conversation to a journalist. Give me one name of George Weah friend who been behind him. Who way?
I mean, Mario Hoff is a deputy for operation at LPRC. One of his closer friends.
Is it who?
Mario Hoff, Adrian Mario Hoff.
No, call Adrian Mario Hoff, man. Don't call Mario, call him, man. Call him, man. Mario came here, he played music when George Weah graduated. George Weah never spoke to him for 3 months. KB Bramo, Sylvester William, Mom, George Weah, George Solo. My man, look, you know what? As for, I tell you, I say, in the way people want to live in my life. When you call me, I'm on Prince Story.
Nah, you said.
One George Weah friend. Name one person who suffered behind George Weah, who work with him, who is in the comment today. Ajibabona, I used to get out 25,000 every year for CDC headquarters. Every year. Call George Weah today, they ain't deny it. I saw you get a whole bunch of piece of shit. You know how George Weah may see. That man myself will go on fire, they post it on the point of fire. The minute you me George Weah tell you, not even nobody. The time where Apollo swing and bring up, they pour on a fire, you want there.
When you say pour you on a fire, what do you mean?
I mean, even a door, sorry, your president, Dr. George Money Weah, the thing what we went through even November 7 before Ellen shoot up. You don't know. Me and George Weah go to African medicine, Apollo swing and rain, my red, they didn't have food to eat. The people that who fix us. Well, any ready to shoot all the Bodek and pounds. The rain Maria there.
So you mean Bodek can tell you and George Weah?
If you planning on hitting George Weah or Bodek, you waste your time. If you planning on hitting me or Bodek, you waste your time. If you planning on hitting me with Neff, say Umar Kulibari. Yeah. Bismillah, Rahman, Alhamdulillah. That's what we have, man, when you sit down there. I mean, when you sit down there, no, you can't touch him. But you know what? The man is a dog. D-O-G. Call me on as for your president, the president of the Republic of bro, man. I talk and sleep with man. When you got a question for me, I yell.
Now,
Any question where you get for me?
let me ask you this. You say
my question follow your head.
You say if the Liberian people don't come together to remove George Weah, he will be there for a long time. What do you make of the opposition?
The opposition is a piece of shit.
Why you say that?
Yeah.
We have Alexander Kumu, we have Benana Yuri, we have Joseph Nyuma Boyka, we got Yombli Kanga. And the four political parties got together and they said they can remove George Weah in the first round.
Okay, that way. The opposition is a piece of shit. That's why we are man where you see and I sit on in a man. When you wake up in the morning, you think about yourself. When you go to sleep, you think about yourself. You get a weak opposition. You come and look out where Heston drop out. Then you say, oh, we're talking. I mean, I get time for your language. First of all, you do not even comprehend your language. So we are illiterate. The opposition in Liberia is too educated. When you're ready, they tell the Liberian people ready for opposition. The scene where you see him sitting down, that way somebody will stand on here and say, you know what? At 12 o'clock in the evening, when I pay the people, you move from here. You can take a camel or take from Clara Town and play the pie, or play Tom. He's a fucking camel. He ain't no a pie. A man, a prostitute. You have to the same man, you can make president. And I say, oh, how will we? You know what? Yeah, when you want to prostitute, some too. The all that money opposition doing a choking. Can you read? Alexander coming to Saboka. They may not talk anything, even though shake to Saboka.
But Giorgio, if you say President Weah is like this, and you say Ben Nigeria is like this, you left from President Weah, you went to Ben Nigeria, then you say you piece of shit too.
My man, I'm a piece of shit. Why you let to distinguish me? I'm a piece of shit who brought a piece of shit to the Liberian people and say, vote for the piece of shit. I agree that I'm a piece of shit. The difference is I'm willing to correct it. I'm willing to correct it. Let me tell you now, and let me be very precise. I'm on air. Yeah, that's what we are, man. When you see, he's a piece of shit. He's a camel. All of your people in the way you're speaking, you know it. They tell where the brain people wake up. They say, one money, man, you call me. And you want to entertain him. You want to keep him as a guest. You want to move forward. You want to continue suffering. You can take pay, all that thing. And then you keep him. And then you say, because I support a piece of shit, so it means I'm a piece of shit.
What do you know about coming? You say you'll move Joy, you come from me, I'll move Joy. You able to move Joy? What kind of strength you got to move Joy?
As for, not only you, all of you always underestimate the power of the people. And so Mali, look, the whole process of election is a social contract. Whenever you stand forward and say that people vote for me, it's a social contract. And you live up to the people contract, they get a right to move you. Yeah. But you know what? The senior charter said 10 years ago, charter said I saw pussy in Liberia.
Eh, what can I mean so bad?
Oh. No, forget it. As for all the men in Liberia are pussy. Because when you look at our PN, when you look at our electric asshole that we are, and him. When me everybody that pussy, that will be America Alpha will fear our children. And I told you when we started the interview, I said, you want honesty? Leave me alone.
But you can be honest without insulting, my man. Is that the only way you can talk? I don't know you to be talking to this.
Yeah, but as far as I can be honest, okay, so who job we are married to? Where job we are pa? Where my husband? No, go do your research. Where the man my husband? The man man do your research. Tell me job we are pa. Where a pa air? Where a power air? Where a pa take for him? The man put color on here, was selling color in Montreal. Kala, you know what Kala is? You know how many family put Kala on their children here to sell it in Montreal? You mean a pastor? You mean mind your husband? So if you want to be factual, and dive into it. If you don't want to be factual,
now,
then you
okay,
continue to live the
okay.
rest of
Now,
it.
George, let us segue a little bit. I've heard the name Sabu Unit. Does this group actually exist?
I don't want to Sabu Unit.
What?
I pick it from Sierra Leone. They put it even Liberia. I found a Sabu Unit. I put them under the command of Jefferson Kochi. Yeah. So saying I want to get into history. I see Sabu Unit point Eugene number house. That is Sabu Unit was pointing everything in Liberia. Sabu Unit is CDC military wing. Sanctioned by Weah. Pay for by Weah. Came in the morning and said, go tell the beginning of point the thing. And one tells you your president is a fuck. I mean, hurry up. I gotta go to bed. Your president is against us. That Sabu Unit you see so. We are know about the formulation of Sabu Unit. I formed Sabu Unit. That's all we are paid for A. That's in Sabu Unit what you see today. That's all we are paid for A. They say fucking shit when they talk about Rawa Seli. So we are went to Paris. He made a agreement with Rawa Seli. He told Rawa Seli money he came. The only difference between me and Joe we are is I say let's take Rawa Seli money and we'll tell him say fuck you and your man and you stay wrong. Joe we are is a coward. He cannot take the money and run. Yeah, he's a coward. He want the money, he want eat it, he want go and get a girlfriend and 25,000.
So Rawa said they are giving Joe we have money?
Oh, and the problem get where you.
I asking you quite, my man, I'm not in Liberia. I asking you.
Yes. I will not say 100%. Because I'm my own side as a mediator. I take my own. But the man, he was telling money.
So all of you tell Liberia to be young. You're eating when you always play and you pretend to be opposition.
But I thought we are all speed. The man bring me in. The man bring me in on speed. The man say the whole country here put our turn in one money. Then you can Rawa Seli. I thought we are. Who met Rawa Seli in Paris? Who stay in the same hotel with Rawa Seli in Paris? Who came to Liberia and look at me and say, my man, they are crown Bene will not honor you. Samuel Do Bene live. A politics in here. And see, Joia is a damn criminal. He been criminal ever since I fucking out of row.
They think you're talking. They think you're talking. They think you're talking. You can talk to Joe. We are in your face.
Even man stand out there. I can tell.
Damn it, the boy mobile. What? I think I want provocation. Yeah, play all the shit down for him.
Hey, Joe, we are one for to explain more money and kept to him and let's explain it. Because I'll bring Amara Corner on a show. I'll bring Ellen Chosen Sally on a show. I'll bring Moriba Molu on a show. I'll bring Jefferson Koji on a show. And I get evidence. The man is a fucking criminal.
Damn it.
That's why and he want to authenticate his stealing. Me, I talk Courtier solo. Yeah. ASHFORD, I was saying all the information. Why you be wasting people time? Is it Liberia, stay where you get a leader? The man in the country. So we have master degree program in America. I mean to wait for him.
No, they said I want
only answer inside. Hey, you want to let talk or you leave me the fuck alone. But nobody want to step me. That man who talk more is a high school dropout. And you getting 10 pieces of paper to read, or read 2, you will leave it.
But somebody might say you might be the last person to speak. Because you know all the data, you can't bring the man. You said that you made the man president. Then what are you complaining for?
I'm the last person to speak. I have never spoken. As for you call me, key homo me. Hey, I want for me to speak. Let me speak. You got any question for me? Let me answer it. I can categorically say today, Weah is illiterate. Weah will spend 25,000 on bring woman from Germany. Weah will spend 10,000 on shoe. Weah will spend 5,000 on clothes. Because why? Simple. He has no confidence.
But George, all what you are saying, the Liberian people, most of who support this man, don't see what you're talking about. The man is building homes in the southeast. I mean, he's building roads.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Liberian people. Even the asshole them who sitting down there, they say them people. Ask them well how they pay. Ask them how the economy looking. Ask them how people die every day. Yeah. If anybody can give me a positive report on Liberia, then you have the right to question me. I said, John, we are a pastor. I said, illiterate. George Solo. I said, man, illiterate, you're a pastor. I said, the man, when you sit down here, when 10 come here, the man wanted 9 from inside. So, what you supposed to do? Find somebody to counter me? Don't question me. I said, brief with that man. I said, brief with that door. And that door is a door. And no door can lead Liberia to where we're supposed to go. And then call John, we are putting on the land. Put all your friends, associate on the land. And then come to me. I'm the chairman emeritus for the Congress of Democratic Chief. I know how much money I spent. I know what kind of conversation I have. Nothing I'm telling you here tonight is from behind the hall. If you even get 3 way, call John, we are now. Call Morba Moluna. Call Jefferson Koji now. Liberia is home. Liberia is home. The we are the Jefferson Koji, the Morba Moluna, I want to tell you. Right now in post-strategy money, they can't read. Tell me which school Molu are you from? Tell me which school Koji are you from? That job we are master degree will do all the way. I do all the way for you and send it. Oh, maybe fair. Let me call it university. So I can inform them that it's plagiarism. I got stupid leaders. I got stupid nation. I got stupid economy. People die. 4 auditors die from LRA in 1 week. And you asking me, you say, what are you talking about? True? Is that true? Call the phone. All y'all go die. All y'all go die. So we as a pastor, you know,
So the opposition are saying they will
my man, don't disturb me with opposition. The opposition, that's all we are. The Liberian people are the victims. Yeah. The opposition used to that's all we are.
But why you saw before you wanted to ban you to be president and you are the campaign manager? Why you saw in?
Look, as for you're bringing back the same old question that inerts me. You're bringing back the same old questions that cause us to ask ourselves, why is Liberia where it is? They come both fail us. Then we went to Nuclear Town, went to West Point. Yeah. We got 12 man we are. The man who put color on it, he can steal more than people who say what in Keresway. The entire nation, Liberia has a cause, and that cause is corruption. It doesn't matter who you support. It doesn't matter how hard you work. At some point in your life, you'll be disappointed because you find out that the individual agenda, corruption, is more than a national agenda. So when you come to me, you bring opposition, my man, that's why we are, man, why you see that so? I mean, a row. Yeah. No, 8, 9 years old, he was stealing. When I go sell the color, and take 2 from inside, sell it, eat it. He's a damn.
But when Joey are 8, 9 years, you know what knew him? You get making all things down.
But as for, and this is where me and you're trolling now.
Okay, you know what? Let some people want to ask you some questions, so I'll open the telephone and let it call in.
My man, put a fucking accident on. Anybody get a question and ask me.
Okay, hold on. The number to call is 313-408-8396. Question for George Solo. 313-408-8396. I just pinned the number. If you have a question for Mr. Solo, please call now. Again, the telephone number is 313-408-8396. Tomorrow we'll play host to Mr. So we got to call it line. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hey, Arthur, how you doing?
Hello, caller.
Arthur, how you doing? You can hear me?
They will call us for waiting for them. I think I told we asked to call.
Joe, we are calling your phone.
No, when I find
hello, you can hear me?
Issue,
yeah, I can hear you.
Man, pussy over.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Hello?
Am I live?
I'm waiting.
I think
Yeah,
I'll transfer you to another show where you can go in and talk.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Am I live?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, how you doing?
Line the caller.
They don't call. They will come.
Okay,
Either you call or you forever hold your peace.
Hold on, George. Be quiet, smart. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, tell us your name.
My name is William Kwapo.
Uh-huh.
My name is William Kwapo.
William Kwapo, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very, very just disappointed. My name is William Kwapo. I'm just actually disappointed in I'm actually disappointed in George Solo. We didn't know that the guys were just a bunch of fools that just went around to put our country where it is today. See Liberia going the way it is going. It was all idiot. I'm sorry, ASHFORD, for using this word on your platform.
I mean, yeah, you can call him because he said
he found place to sit
he said that he the cause of it.
Yes, let Solo shut up and find place to sit.
Yeah.
Shame on him.
Yeah.
He's a disgrace to our job here.
I will cause them too.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. 774-573-4219. Yato, you live on the radio.
Oh, good evening, my chairman. How you doing?
Yato is speaking to you, Georgie. Yato is speaking to you, George. You say you're listening?
Hey, Mr. Chairman. I don't know. Hey, I was a victim of the system also, so I just want to say hang in there. That's all I got to say. We all came from the same devil of the beast, so that's all I got to say.
Okay.
In response to email, these are conservative people who would learn they're supposed to take. Email Emmanuel too in Detroit. He experienced the same level of disappointment I experienced. Yeah. At the end of the day, George Weah is unreliable.
Okay, hold on. Let the other people talk more. 240-661.
Hey, ASHFORD, how you doing? This is Ali Kamara. How are you?
Hey, Ali, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, my first question is to you, ASHFORD. What you get to say for yourself now? You're not burning your margin area, you're more all full. You're looking confused in the
I try to talk to the band, you know, maybe some people that just how they are, you know, that, yeah, so.
You got me laughing here. George not playing. But, you know, I think George will be an exception tonight. I mean, like, really express. George has said some things. Let us forget about the words that he's using, and let's focus on the points that he's really making. One of the things I wanted to know from George said he can produce evidence of some of the money he gave to George Weah. Can George tell about some of this money that he's talking about? And I want George to elaborate more on the
elaborate.
Okay.
A boy car
Okay.
Allegations that his son gave George Weah some kind of money because of the emotion. He hasn't really giving us.
Okay, hold on. Here, elaborate. Let me.
So let me hear it.
Okay, hold on. Here, elaborate. As does the callers. Okay, 678-598-2359.
Yeah, thank you, ASHFORD. Thank you so much. And I think, thank George for coming on. ASHFORD, this is not to recommend anything on the show, but if it's possible, I know Job is kind of angry right now because he's trying to express whatever happened in the past. If you can set up time for me to come at the little time to explain to us. I think he explained to us in detail that he was trying to help, but he found himself in a contrary path, not knowing that those guys had some, hidden agenda. So, are you not afraid of your life, knowing the kind of man that our president is, as you explained? Are you not afraid? And then my second question to you is this: what happens if the opposition reach out to you, say you are Adela?
Bro, the opposition didn't even have to reach out to me. You see that, man? When you see a menace, when you see someone who's going to damage our nation and our society, even with my own meager resources, I will work with the opposition. Let me tell you something. George Weah is a cost to that nation.
Okay, hold on. Your response. Let the other people finish. Call us out over 1 minute tonight. The last 4 digits of your number, 2640. Tell us your name. 2640. Okay, you're ready. You're ready. Okay, the last 4 digits of your number, 5651.
Say it again.
You're ready, yeah.
People not ready. We're about ready tonight.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
No, hold on. I'll tell you whether you're ready or not. Okay. Batun Kula.
Yes, George Solo. You an interesting chairman emeritus. I would like to know about the DeVry education that we are obtained. Who did the work for him to get his college degree and his master?
If you put George Weah here right now, Batun, you and I have gone back and forth intensively. Let's be honest. You have always questioned the credibility and the electoral capacity of George Weah. Even you and I have exchanged words. And I will repeat to you today. After healthcare administration, I do all the work for him. He's a fool. Next question. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything on the line. ASHFORD.
Why are you so angry tonight, George?
I'm not angry.
You are angry because one of the angry men will talk that way you.
But ASHFORD, I live in the biggest democracy. I feel my case every day. I go to work in the morning, I come home in the evening. There's a point where you must tell.
Okay, George, hold the line. I'll take Mommy talk. Mommy, hello.
Hello, Josh. How are you?
I'm fine, Mama. How are you?
Yes. You see, I like people like you because just because somebody is your friend or your friend is saying that when the person is doing wrong, you can't just say about it. What's up? These people are doing. I have a brother that just came from Liberia today. Last month or months ago, that boy couldn't. When I said Josh.
Oh, he called in there. Now you should know.
Hello.
Okay. Well, the call failed. We got to get George back on the line. Okay, you please stop calling now, Big. You're calling too much, Big. The phone said get virus now. You'll wait. Pastor Sonny, stop calling. Big. I'll call you back. I'm trying to get out our guests. Y'all stop calling. The phone get virus. Okay. We got George back on the line. Hello, George.
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, let's see if we can get Mommy back on the line too.
You are making a very
go ahead, Mommy. Mommy is still on.
Yes, I was just telling him thank you. I said, as I was saying, I have a brother that just came back today from Liberia. And I'm like, how Liberia? He's like, Mommy, is everything that all these radio hosts are talking, is everything that going on. Nothing that they're lying about. The country is bad. That's how this guy, at first when you talk about Weah, he will shove it down your throat. But now, and when you even write on Facebook, none of this CDC, and they're so weak now, they just stand it's like chicken dying and they're fighting. I just want to tell you thank you, and I'm not trying to be funny. You hurt because you would have been with someone, all these things, people say, oh, you're cursing, you're angry, and you now one-sided. When they talk about the opposition, you're saying same thing too. So we all listening to you, and thank you for being honest with the Liberian people, because when you love somebody, you have to be honest with them. And what the rate we are is going before another war come in our country. So thank you.
Yeah, Mama, let me tell you something. People say, why you talking now? Why you didn't talk before? What wrong with it? What wrong with that? I don't worry about all those things. You know what I worry about? The Liberian people. The nation growing. The nation progressing. And even if they on the phone here today, if tomorrow I hear ASHFORD GARLEY doing it, I will tell you the truth. I stood up again early. I put people on the street. We go on the street. We say I will let more change. No, Weah. I made one point and showing what bullet will catch it. What should I let Weah? I don't need job in Liberian government. Since 2014, I came to the US. I'm vice president of human resources. I made over 10, 15,000 every 2 weeks. There's a point in our life where we must stand for something. And that something must be in the interest of the majority. So even me, George Solo, tomorrow, oh yeah, so we are a stupid man. Oh, he's president. Oh, he's killing people. He can make 10,000. I go home later. No, I'm not George Solo. So we are. You hear me? You listen to the radio, take your money. The interest of my people is the most critical interest to me. And if I can expose you, if I expose anybody, my duty is to make sure that Liberia democracy grow. Hey, wait, we are. Hey, we fought Ellen in Liberia. I fought Ellen for 12 years. I know when you're coming. You know, give me 50 cents.
No, you say you air on. You just say you air on. Joe, we are air on. You air on too. But Raul said the brother money all of your air on.
No, as for don't misrepresent the individual support. Our own children and 401k will take money for this. I will put it in the party. Don't misrepresent it. And I'm very serious with you. And I want to literally say, because part of the problem we have in Liberia is there's never a serious conversation. Every conversation have a connotation. Oh, I'm a CDC, so I'm going to have the conversation with you to represent CDC. Oh, I'm a UP policy. I'm going to have a conversation with you to represent UP. Why the fuck would pay all the love?
Now, George, the seditions that are on steroids today for George Weah, would they one day get angry and turn against him?
Yeah, they're on steroids again.
Why?
Partner security to the man coming for their rent. Nobody wants steroids.
Wait now, personal security, the president call you for their rent?
For their rent.
Hey man, George, stop joking, man.
Nobody wants steroids. Let me tell you something. You see, corruption and greed don't have limitation. So we are wearing 25,000 shoe. He wearing 50,000 suit. Even the security that are protecting him, ask them if they rent pay. They not pay. You don't understand the whole issue about corruption. You think corruption are here? Oh, I want to hear the people. No. Corruption hurts a nation. It's an ideology. So we are a greedy hunter. And you go now and kill lion in one other me. The other people shoot the lion when in, they can't get nothing. Right now, the SSS, the Liberia National Police, all the people, the Prime Defense Minister West, Sanga, that's stupid. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't talk the things I don't have fact. Maybe you know something I don't know.
I get fat. The Defense Minister West, pregnant for the man. Yeah, the man carry the man in a room. He lay the man on his pay, he lay on the ground. The man pregnant where? God, Daniel Sanga today. They disputed that Daniel Sanga was Defense Minister on Ellie. Who is Defense Minister on Joe? I said, now, it's your way, I'm pregnant West. Why you be arguing there? They think that something what was oh, we hold our mouth, we talk carefully, yeah, Titan, while our brother die. Cause Sanga tell now. The brother have security. People far auditor die in 1 week. The brother have security. So we are steal the money. When they finish stealing the money, the people they steal the money when they kill them. Yeah, cause we are general and just go say, why you let to? You know, and I told you ASHFORD. I say I'm in America. I'm working. I'm living well. I get money. I don't need to be in a politics. Whenever you ask me to talk or to engage, my man, my commitment to my people is to the Republic of Liberia, that flag, that red, white, and blue. And I know job we are. And we come and say, don't call so. Job we are that roll. Now tell them I get a roll. Samuel to a roll. Then I spend 25 million. Then I spend all the money. I say, I'm telling you, I sat on the edge of Weah. I said the man is a roll. The whole mentality is that of a rogue. When he approached any issue or anything, is what in it for him. And God, we are now. Put you on the way. They ain't answer me. They ain't tell me who to the school were in different. That man want to finish our school paper before you say you go to master. You're that tall. You don't want to humble me. ASHFORD, I told you, you from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. You call me and say, man, call me, I'll be honest. You don't want to call me, leave me. And you want to find out something, you call me. You don't want to find out anything, leave me. And you wait in America, so I can send people to call me or call it. I can get to me here. Yeah, so that's all. That's all. That fucking talk.
So what you say about our first lady who helped our first Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman, what you say? Mr. Chairman, what do you also say about our first lady who helping to help the elderly in Liberia?
I paid a woman bill in New York, lead bill, cable bill, all kind of bill. That woman working in New York as a nurse. If Cloud Weah can present and pay stock to you when he says you make more than $3,000 a month, I swear to God, if she present and pay stock to you, I'll give her $7,000. I will double it. She's a nurse. She's a first aid. She's not even nurse. First aid. Working in nursing home. And the woman in Marco took her and go to Liberia. They becoming parley on the name of Marco Carty. Marco Carty? Really? My man, look. You see, all my children American sitting here with living. They don't want mommy, I don't want me. Exactly. Marco took him run in New York. You know how many times the man lose election in New York? You know the man physical value. When the man go to Liberia today, he get gold, man. Thanks to Cloud Weah. Cloud Weah a roll. Cloud Weah a roll. Any family who Cloud Weah get to Liberia a roll. I don't want, I draw God here, so I say, I pay a woman bill. I pay her bill. I pay her lead bill. And you fuck up with me, I will send you the email. Why I pay her lead bill, I pay her cable bill, I'll send it all to you. The bill send why I pay for Cloud Weah. And you make me send it to you and then your feedback. Cloud Weah is a fucking roll. I went with a man in Paris. PSG account. Where you open in Paris. Go there. Yeah, folk out there will sit down and drink coffee and all. No, I get $3,000 in his account. In a PSG account in Paris. Tell you that just don't say, $3,000. I tell you, I say, man, no, let you that money there. Let go also. Oh. Do different thing. $3,000.
But in a
professional football almost 50 years at this time. The man was broke.
But why they continue to say the men are being there? Where you coming from? 3,000 now?
Yeah, that's why bring the man pay statement. 12 is a fucking piece of shit too. I'm ready to tell them. I say, oh, just go shut up. That somebody to work traveling tour in America. You are traveling tour. You know somebody to be in America. You're traveling tour.
So you encourage someone to go Liberia?
I say from 12 hours to Prime Minister. A piece of shit and where you be disturbing people. I mean, ASHFORD, leave me there. Leave me there. If you want me to explain,
but if you say
then now I can call US Bank in America to give me the main profile. The man was traveling 12, something 12, fucking 12 hours. And I'm telling you, who bring me on Winston Tubman, make you Winston Tubman pay. Even the same market was saying to Eternal Affairs, Deputy Minister, LA, in the whole process of inclusion and all that. If I want to be to Eternal Affairs, man, run away, come out to our, he say, the sea can be hard, the public don't want cane.
So Joe, we are going 3 years now. You think he ready to change the country?
What Joe we are? He didn't want to work me in the morning. I get into the oil, work me in the morning. Your mayor again. Killer mentor. It was a joy. Come, I said, Papa, let me see her. Cause what we are today. So we are the asshole. He's an asshole. The entire Republic of Liberia, opposition, didn't party. You know, that was only years ago. And I become a believer. Yeah. All the men in Liberia are pussy. They get no honor their pussy. No man in Liberia. No man. No man. Is it that job we are? Is it Antonio Market? Is it all the opposition people? If I reach to Moria today, I said, me God here will shoot one year, will no equal. All of them will fall their pussy hole. Yeah, sorry for my language. We won't come in. All the men are brother pussy hole. I mean, just so. Yeah, that job we are when I see so. And you shoot go right to ELA Junction. When I hear say job we are in Ethiopia, I don't respect me.
Nah, I thought you said the man get gun medicine.
Yeah, but he will still run away.
Is that true that Ellen financed the election with Joe Weah?
Yes. I sat in a meeting with Ellen and Joe Weah. What she said, if you be patient, I'll make you president. And you can call Joseph Boca today. I mean, Joe Weah, Joseph Boca, Ellen in the executive mansion. Even if you want to look for women called Bian Cassidy, what the head of maritime was sending us out. Yeah, he was telling us when Ellen said Joe Weah made president, and she did it. Why he gave her son. Yeah, you know what? Because you know what? Any union that is built around evil, it will never last. And when you see that, so you will see. Even I seen Joe Weah, when you see that, so you will see. Or very careful, we have to corruption court. That will feel bad for him. Small more children will throw orange on him. Will be in market store and will carry the corruption court. You know what? My man, the only blessing God gave me is education and life. And long as I get in life here,
okay, hold on, George. This caller has been very persistent. Hold on. He's calling on the WhatsApp number. It's
hello.
The last 2 digits of your number. 2772. Tell us your name.
This is James Ferguson. I'm calling from Northern Ontario, Canada.
Welcome to the show. You're live on the radio. Very persistent. Hold on. He's calling on the. My man, talk now. Don't listen to the radio. Talk.
Yeah.
Do not listen to the receiver. Talk to me.
How you do?
Hello. 3585. Please tell us your name.
I want to commend Solo for a repentance because he was one of the person that was going around America and preaching George Weah. So I'm happy today that he's repenting from the George Weah era.
Okay. Thank you. Georgie, we'll take one more caller and we'll go back to you. Yeah? I don't we lost this caller. Okay. Okay, George, go ahead. The habit that you repent today. The habit that you repent today.
Yeah, but as for I want somebody to get on the land and to challenge me about the George Weah deficiency, about George Weah ability to take that period to the next level. He's a criminal, he's a role. There's a man going in Louis Vuitton. He's comfortably willing to spend 6,000-7,000 on one belt. Yeah, that's what we are counting from. Any of we are people counting from. They didn't tell me that he's not a mass spender and he's not as angry and he's not a greedy hunter who only think about himself. I tell you, any man, woman, or child, I only phone ASHFORD. And on the phone, I'm here with you. Let somebody come here and say, George, we are getting integrity. It's a fucking role.
Hold on.
The man who worked in the same room for almost 15 years.
Hold on, George. Hold on. Hold on, George. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Yeah. Am I online?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point.
Okay. I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank Brother George for coming on. My question is, I want to know, since you know everything that's taking place in the country, what can we do now to make our country better?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Josh, the person, what can they do? Say you know everything, what can they do to... How am I supposed to know? You calling, they tell me, so I know your number. The main man for the show you made them, I kick the man out now. You can't waste more, say you're calling over and over. But the man feeling talking to your call. Georgie.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Wait, somebody calling. I think the name is. Hold on.
The University of Michigan.
Hold on.
Even the mayor, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, wanted this. Emmanuel too. We set up speaking engagement for the man right here in Michigan. The man can make $20,000, man. The man all $20,000 in Michigan. University will sell it, take the money, say, oh, you put sending money to car said, it's a role. It's a role. Call Emmanuel too. Call my one these now who the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. Any of those fucking accident get integrity. Let me discuss what we have tonight. I feel that discussing what we have tonight. I want discussing.
Hello, caller.
Yes, I forgot it. This is Randy.
How you doing, Randy?
I am great. By the way, somebody just alerted me and said that George Solo was on your show.
Not George Solo. Chairman Emeritus on the Congress for Democracy, George Solo. Got the name correct.
Oh, okay. All right. Title is accepted. I have a question for George Solo, and I want to get George Solo back. George, if you don't mind, let me just end my question for you.
And with you, brother. Feel free.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
Democracy is a bedrock of conversation.
Yeah. So I remember in 2012 on City Line Avenue, when the first CDC workshop was held when Ambassador Weah, I guess, came out of the 2011 election, and you were then the chairman and took the delegation on Citadel Avenue. And during that meeting, I came and asked you a specific question. And my question to you was, George Solo, the youth of the CDC party, they need to have a reintegration program in order to enlighten the capacity of the party. And in that very meeting, you said that we're not going to change anything in the party. And my response to you was, policy is not a sunset. It is a dynamic program.
I remember that.
That said, I would like to know why, after all those information you had, because I know you I took a photo, I still have that photo. It was Stan Livingstone,
my man,
and myself.
I'm aware of you, and I know you.
Yeah, so let me just land with a question, Solo. My question here is, when you left the CDC, I have been following you. I haven't heard any reason, whether it's policy, whether it's maybe budgeting issue, whether it's program that you left the CDC. So as a person who is on record of following you, would you mind telling us what were the reasons you left the CDC, so that way we all can know that you wrote the place?
My man, you know one thing? And even though you are all access to me. Yeah, you know the kind of chairman I am. So the whole CDC program, I was selecting to all. Yeah. He said you want to produce $4 million for Joe Weah not to run for senator. Yeah. And I was in Liberia, and money went to Europe. He called me. Said, "Oh, I remember by mistake, I was just leaving the street, me and Raul in the same hotel." I said, "Go for you. What's my direction as a national chairman leaving the soldiers?" He said, "The Raul said, man said, yeah, ma, we want to use that to promote." I said, "Okay." I confronted him. You know what Joe Weah told me? He said, "My man, you're going to pay stamina to pay how long? It's in a political penny. Listen to the man." I began. I listened to Raul Sali. I took $250,000 US, $100 I paid to Joe Weah. On the condition that he was going to say in that rally,
Go ahead, Josh.
$250,000. I'm just sort of saying it. I carried to him after that real, I put it in your hand, I push it away. He can tell you. Yeah. He will tell you. I put it in your hand. $250,000. You know what the man told me? The man said, "You see Molu, you see Koji, you see Akara, you see all the people, you got to control them." I said, "Hold it, 250, I will go control them." The real program was to say, "We're not running." When Raul came all the money, don't tell him, we said, "To hell with you and your man will run it." That fellow, George Manning Weah, from my end, if you see 250,000, I let him pay, man, push it on the radio line.
Can I ask my last question, please?
Yeah, a lot of.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get permission from ASHFORD, and yeah, just granted me the permission.
So I'm telling you, I carry $250,000 out of Joe Weah. He held it. My plan as a national chairman of CDC, and sorry, Raul, if you want to call, you listening. My plan was to follow Raul Sadi. We're going to take the money, the Labrambo money. We're going to stay run. I left America. I reached to Liberia 3 days before the man was going to be registered. As the national chairman, I signed a documentation and registered him. George Weah is just a dog.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me get my last question.
All right, last question.
Yeah, finish your last question. I'll answer it.
Yeah. So what I would like to know here is, you as the chairman, to me, from the corporate level, is like the operation guy, the go-to guy.
The CEO.
Don't you think? Yeah, the CEO. Don't you think when Mr. Sadi approached you without money?
He approached me. He approached me. Not let me say he approached Joe Weah came to me.
Oh, okay, all right. So because the way you said it, I thought it was like,
no. He and Joe Weah met in Paris. I was not there. Joe Weah told me you are going after a French citizenship. When he came out of Liberia, he said, "Oh, my man, so in a funny way, I want myself in the same hotel. I want myself in the sea, and of course, just like you, I took it with a cream of salt. But he brought it to me. I'm the national chairman. Your political leader come from Europe.
Okay. No more calls. The callers I have on the line now, we'll just deal with them, and then we can conclude with George. No more calling. The callers I have on the line now, we'll just deal with them. Thank you, Randy.
Yeah. I'm not done here. Please.
Okay, go ahead. We got all the people waiting to talk, Randy.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah. Because Solo interrupted me. That's why. Because
No. I want to.
Okay.
I want to really.
So let me ask my last question. And I will get off.
Yeah.
So, and I will listen to you after that. So, what I want to understand from you, you are the chairman, and here
national chairman.
The national chairman. Yeah. You are the national chairman.
Yeah.
So, for what you get explained, do you think it would have been a different story today if you are looking in the face of George Weah at that time and say, "So Weah, I'm not going to take that money." And
No. Bro, you're missing a point. When he brought the engagement to me, when he brought the engagement to me, I said no. And let's go back to the history. That's what we have told me. He said, my man, in 1980, Samuel told Bennett a politics with him. You gotta deal with it, man.
Do you have proof to that, or it's just word of mouth?
Man, I can email. I can even follow you email now for money.
Okay, my last question to you is,
People say what's the last question? This dude.
The last question.
Randy, you live on the social media. You do 5 full shows a day. You ask 3 questions. You still want to ask questions. Lufa, Judah, go ahead.
Let's finish.
Go ahead, Lufa.
Thank you, Ashford. I appreciate it, man. Because Randy over here talking about every other 2 second, last question. Give other people the opportunity to speak. Let me just say to a brother on the line, Solo, thanks for coming out. You know, God will actually expose George Weah. I'm not here to speak to anything because I have no fight to it. But I listened to this guy mention my cousin's name. And the man named whom I think all of you guys listened to, Marcus Dukley, he referred to him as Marcus Dukley, but Marcus Dukley Soko.
No, again, I will reiterate.
Okay. Reiterate.
Dukley is now referred to as Marcus Duke Dukley. Mark Duke Dukley is referred to as Mark Duke. And even if George Weah is honest, he put up his WhatsApp today. Both me and him have that man on WhatsApp as Mark Duke.
Okay. However way you guys had him, that's fine with me. But I don't. That's really not my concern. My concern here is the fact that what goes around comes around. Everybody were into that thing for their own benefit, and here we are today. The reality is kicking in. Innocent people lost their lives because of selfish and careless attitudes from people like the Randy Jackson, who yesterday was also out here prosecuting George Weah for everything that is going on. Today, he want to come out here and pretend like he's asking you questions and that what you're saying is not right. The name you mentioned, all right, this man, since his death, George Weah had not even opened his mouth to say hello to the mother of the man named you mentioned. let me just say this today. And the family keep trying to say, don't say nothing, because everybody afraid that because of the evil practices that is taking place in Liberia, they will hunt the family down.
Small brother.
Yeah.
The man, brother, borrow Weah, parents Weah, all the people, you know how they live in Liberia? They don't even have food to eat. You know what the man tell the people? The man say that his mother, his mom, the woman boy, the fuller man who are renting a shop in front of the house, that the fuller man born other people. All people they call all their parents, sister, ask anything they get food to eat. The man say the fuller man who are renting a shop by a grandma, a fuller man born children. He's a wicked motherfucker. He's a wicked motherfucker.
You know, and again, let me leave the line. I don't want to hog the line. The reason why I thought to call back here was just to put Randy in check that, you know, these are some of the selfish and heartless group of people. Right after the election, when Randy was now recognized by President George Weah, he said he was now speaking or propagating messages against the government. Now that he seeks relevance, he tried to now pretend as though he's supporting the government again. We know these kind of people. And these are the people who continue to push and plunge our country in the drain. And that's why we said we will erect the needed checkpoint. We are taking note of all of these things. My cousin is gone. He's not coming back. But the reality remains, those of you who know the real truth, you will expose George Weah and he will get his time. Yes, sir.
You don't know the real truth. Either they depend on government budget or they depend on George Weah to live, so they'll never expose the real truth. When you see nigga like me stand up, you know what it's about? I got my bread. And anything that's wrong, anything that affects my people, anything that affects my nation, trust me, it's your mind, it's your power, talk it. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah, so there's a disparity. There's a disparity between people who can pay their rent. There's a disparity between people who can pay their mortgage. And there's a disparity between people who can sit down to these motherfuckers and say, you know what?
Thank you, Lofa. Hold on, Solo. Solo, hold on. Dodi?
Yeah, but you'll be doing hold on, because I'm ready to tell the truth and I tell hold on.
Dodi, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Brother Garley. Thank you. Thank you very much, Judge. I am going to ask you a question, and the questions will follow with explanations. Judge, thank you for the good deliberation. What is your advice to the young folks who are leaving their organization, COP, who leaving their party and joining CDC? What would be your advice to them as a former chairman, insider, who knows the in and out of George Weah? Because I see the reason I've been listening for so long. I see the reason why Costa can kill the man, and Prophet King can teach in this man all the time with all of the things you explain. What would be your advice to the young people, George?
Brother, I'll give you the same caution I gave to my wife and my kids. And when you see Costa and COP and you're thinking what we want to do, it's because of their inconsistency. You sit down in your house every day. You wake up, no means to go get income, no means to feed your kids. You tell what we are. But when you get a Costa and a CPP and all the people that speaking people, then become complicated. I am George Solo, and I say to you, I put my whole life behind making sure we are president. And I put my whole life behind removing him, because you know what? Just like the citizen of Mali said, presidency is a social engagement. It's where you tell your people, this is how may you better. And your people tell you this is what I will vote for you. Yeah, if you ask me today, George G. Solo, the day today, what Weah is a detriment to our democracy. He greedy, corrupt, he wanted for himself. I'm telling you now that even SS people who supporting the man will come on their side, they can come in for their rent. And I can pay their rent. Yeah. The man is a hobo. He's demoralized. He's disconnected from the real responsibility of Liberia. And you know what? I'm not trying to tell you my side. I'm not trying to preach to you. But at some point, Liberians going to think it's better for all. It's not better for all. Let me tell you something what's so happening to George Weah. I mean, so we're going to quote every day for corruption. That man, Minister Samuel Tue and Nathaniel McGill, all else will be going to quote every day. Because if we have to build that nation, if we have to build our people capacity, if we have to feel proud, if we have to feel that our appearance and the nation will progress and begin, there's no other option. All the warlords, all the criminals, from Chad Taylor to Prince Johnson or George Weah, all those people gotta be accountable. Because you know what? If we don't want accountability, let's accept our suffering. If we want not to suffer, let's impose accountability and begin. I know which you come from.
Okay, hold on, George. We want to take the Noah Weah a movement. Dave Kapadi.
Yeah, for Big Brother ASHFORD GARLEY and Chairman George Solo, how you doing?
He listening to you.
Okay, and I want to say hi to everybody listening. And my name is David Kapali, one of the strongest critics of George Weah, and I ran the Never Weah movement.
You still running for president? You still running for president?
Yeah, everything still remain constant. Everything still on the table. Right now, our biggest fight is to make sure we retain Darius DeLong in Maserati. That way we can weaken the political strength of George Weah going to 2023. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to Chairman Solo for some of the revelations that he is giving to the Liberian people today. And I can tell you, Senior Brother ASHFORD, that this video will be very, very important to the fight against corruption and the Anti-Corruption Commission in Liberia when those days shall have come. Please keep it and copyright them. But let me say this to this effect of Chairman Solo revelation. I know that during those days when we were in Liberia, they were running with a propaganda that George Weah was a multi-millionaire. He had $92 million, and he was just waiting to dump the money into Liberia. I want to ask Chairman Solo two questions.
Hold on. That's the response.
You know, against a Nobel Peace Prize winner. We are, even though we're all, and I'm being honest with you, and you'll be honest with me, with all the deficiencies, our responsibility was to cover the main deficiency. Because we wanted to project to the Liberian people that there's a better option to come out of West Point. That a better option to come out of Nukuta. And so, no, I'm not arguing with you. I lost the battle. George Weah is a criminal, is a rogue, more corrupt than Ellie. But when we were pushing our agenda at the time, the whole focus was to say that, you know what, we the indigenous people, we the country boys, we are better than these people. But I never stood with you and said, George Weah a greedy hunter. He's a creative hunter when he came line one eat all the men went $25,000 shoe. When our whole nation got into and sitting on the ground. Yeah. Ministry of Education called D. Asun Sunni. There's a man who brought money to me. He said, I won't be in Congress. I said, no. You cannot be in Congress. You gotta follow the policy. God wasn't tapping. They move you from Commonwealth, they carry EPA, they carry here, carry there. Simply because you need to find out $1,000 to feed your family, you have no integrity. So these are things we need to discuss. Yeah, John Weah is a failure. A cabinet is a failure. Liberia, as we speak today, is a failure. You know, brother, speak to that. I don't need any man for food. I don't need any man to pay my bill. But speak to that. What is your opinion today? If somebody look at you and they say, oh, CDC cabinet will achieve Bona and child prayer. Hey, no. November 7, God forgive her. The time was shooting her. When Achieve Bona and child prayer were here. John, where is your sellout? Communicate. I'm on the line. I'm on the line, all net to net. Anybody want to know anything? Me, John, God, the former national chairman of the Congress for Democracy. And you know what? I will do a challenge. They ain't call and dispute me. I pay bills. I pay a lead bill. I pay a water bill. I pay a cable bill. Let George money take on my Weah. I ain't getting a line. I ain't told the George today. I only line. Tonight. They ain't get on.
Okay, we'll have another caller on the line. Hello, caller from Canada.
Hello, Mr. ASHFORD GARLEY. Thank you for your. Anyway, I want to introduce myself. Mr. GARLEY, I'm Classic D. I'm the Minister of Common Sense, and I live in Canada.
Go ahead. Welcome to the show.
Where you?
Mr. Gator, Mr. GARLEY, you are very highly respected in Liberia. You've been doing this for almost 30 years. But for you to take a drunk man to bring on your show, the next
John Weah, come make an answer. Wow, whole country dying. You can come and tell me that I'm drunk. I was drunk, but I was a national chairman. No, you cannot talk. I was drunk. I was the national chairman of the CDC. I pay your strategy. I buried John Weah, man. I supported a fucking home. You can come tell me today I'm drunk. You're a piece of shit. I thought, tell him that color, man. Tell him that color.
No, don't cause. No,
you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Because if you can say on the phone and say, just a little drunk, you know how much money I spent on CDC? Over $600,000 US. You get $700,000. You know about CDC if anyone was shooting on November 7. You know when Ellen said on army to shoot off. When John Weah fucking hour in the crosshair, you were there. Man, I thought till the next call, man. Don't waste my fucking time. I told you. I said I'll get on this show to never. I'll not take their respect. Get that fucking hour up and now till the next call, or I'll get off.
Okay, George. Yeah. I think time has.
He's a piece of shit.
Okay.
Don't look at John Weah. He's destroying the nation. And because they have
George, we have 359 now on the line. Hello, caller.
Alfred, this is Cassius. I just have a question for Solo. Solo, you said on November 7th, they sent the armies to shoot at you guys at the party headquarters, and then we got a news that over 20 or whatsoever the number was that died in that compound. Can you confirm how many persons read it down when the shooting took place?
Thank you for the question, brother. November 7th, in the first 1 hour, they shot Mandingo Picking in the eye. He pooped on his head, he died right away. I took the body from the party headquarters. I came upstairs. You know who was there? political leader Winston Thomas, political leader George Weah. When I reached there with a body, with a bullet in his eyeball and poo-poo on his ass. You know the minute there? Winston Thomas and George Weah get in the crosshair. I locked them in the crosshair, and I can show you video. I put it in the crosshair. I went outside. I confronted the Black National Police. We drove them away with secure CDC headquarters. And I can call now George Weah, who was the AD came to me and the political leader at the time. George Weah in Massachusetts. George Weah brought a 4x4 Jeep Toyota. I put George Weah inside. I put journalists. We had 2 European journalists. I put them on top of him for his safety. I had to carry him home. That man went inside into in rehab. He didn't even know what happened after. You understand? So, call George Weah, call Priestler, call Tikla, call the Sabo Union now. Any of our people who were on that play there, George Weah was a fucking punk. He put a fucking eye in a crosshair, put claw and he'll carry him. I'm not going to argue that. I'm never arguing that. Me, I'm George Gordy Solo. I came to America, I got a life. I don't need that, bro. What I'm doing tonight is telling you the truth. The motherfuckers are coward. The beginning was saying I read the headquarters of the scene and said, we'll see Ellen 20 tonight. The man get in car, he poured a hay, he went back to rehab. He never confronted that situation. K. Apollo Swain, George Weah, Tikla. I can name all the people who stood up to the National Police until as an opposition. Anyway, you'll be making no George Weah. George Weah called Ellie. Ellie said, oh, I got 10,000 for you. He said, oh, I go in Canada. Send the money with Amara. I received money from Amara. I get a George Weah. I get a man. He said, Canada. Call him. That George Weah got on the phone side there. He's a coward. He's a sellout. Shit. I mean, you know what? I want to tell you. I am America here. My family is where I'm well. When you're arguing for honesty, I get honesty. When you don't want honesty, you don't call me. George Weah is a sellout. I hold money and put it in my hand. I get to George Weah. I say, hey, at least anything to you for you to shut up. He said, Chairman? He said, yeah, I try to pick it in to shut up. He take the money in car in America, he can't eat it. George Weah, my man, look, you know what? I'm George G. Solo. The G is for Cordier. I'm a crown man. And I get evidence. When you want video, you want any document on George Weah, tell me, hey, I catch George Weah Paris. Magisa. We go meet PP in Paris. We even selling oil and gas capacity that everything get to.
So, George, just before we go home tonight, do you really think the auditors the body they finding, and you think we'll find out who killed the people?
Oh man, let me tell you something. You see that George Weah, man? I mean, play Camo in 0.4. I mean, put color on it. He said it. Yeah. People come up body there all over for long. I am his brother. And I can give you evidence that George Weah man has no integrity. He's more corrupt. Papa, Ellen, Tolman, all of them. And if you don't want to confront me, my man, the information I will send to you, ASHFORD, I brought up this shit. I mean, I will pay rent, will pay a cable bill. The man born children all over the place. The man even named the children after us. I got a son in Ghana now, and he drug got the age solo that George Weah born in 2 Ghana. Honor his legally married wife. That other page where you see that let's say that the real family. The boy my name, I send money every month. So whenever you go from me, ask for your let's talk. You see me? I said I here. I pay my bill, my kids are okay.
You crying?
I live well. Yeah.
What are you crying for?
I'm crying, I get equal. I get hiccup. I'm crying.
You been drinking?
No, I'm not crying. No, I'm not been drinking. I don't drink. As for, I get hiccup.
You can smoke?
No, I get hiccup.
Okay.
But as for, I think fucking shit, the one that's smaller is Benny.
George.
One can drink like Benny, we talk about your leader. We talk about discrepancies. Talk about desire. The man said, Ghana is sent 25,000 to Elizabeth by 4 inch money to cancel. He's a woman, he's a piece of shit. We'll talk about that. He call you talking about what he gonna do with your president.
I just asked you a question whether you been drinking or whether you smoke. That's all I asked.
I mean, serious question.
So,
look, before that, I get look, we are there to me. So we are can smoke opium. You can drink liquor. That means just to say, yeah. So you're living with this smoke then. Whether you smoke, you drink. You go out. We at the time was smoking opium.
So let me ask you: do you trust the election commissioners as we go to
no?
Why not?
That Director Brown.
Yeah.
Are sitting in the other room. She can come in the next job. We have to carry her in the other room and for her.
Wait. You talking about the chairperson of the election commission?
I said that we are girlfriend. That's the Director carry on the phone and dispute it. So we can carry in the other room for her. I said I'm ready when you finish fucking the brain. I said I want to tell to the car that the Director Brown last time. That's your best of winning niece. They wanna tell we are girlfriend. I mean, you talk something here, man. You don't waste my time, man.
Wow.
The woman is sure we are girlfriend. And you call the Echo Plan last time now. And ask her to dispute it. Say, just to say, I used to be in the room, in the other room here. But I kept in the other room, see what she come out, also pour in the car. Call the Echo Plan last time.
You got any question? Fire can come from there. I just send me ask for the commissioner and bring fire again.
Yeah, my man. Now I say, I told you before the interview, I say, hey, you don't want no problem, no interview me. Because the thing where cow get in more. When you want the cow, you can just say, It can't explain. Because the cow no plenty thing. Or say you're like brain poor, you want to try me? Let's discuss it. They be Eto Brown last time. That man didn't mention married her for fun. She see what job we are already now. I am a testimony. And if she tell me, I'll give you picture. I'll give you picture of all coming from job we are room in Libya.
Oh, so you think the election will be fair now, Josh?
It cannot be fair. The man sleeping with the election commission chairman. The man lobbying to the election commission chairman more than 10 years. I get picture. I get evidence. And I'm confronting you to say, we just discussing. No. George Jesus, give it Eto Brown Lasana. You get any respect for your husband. You don't want for me to put us out again. You thought we are girlfriend, and know you thought we are girlfriend. And I was there, you go into our room, you feel when you come out, also put you in a car. Open your mouth. Eto Brown Lasana, open your mouth. Tell me. Let me put evidence also. As for what is the next question?
The next question is this Sabu unit you talk about. You say you established a Sabu unit, correct? George?
Your call has been forwarded to an auto.
So the election commissioner, their children, then we're in trouble. Wow. Well, folks, tomorrow night we're gonna play host of the man Tono Harris. Tono Harris is an expert when it comes to telecommunications, and he will be our special guest tomorrow night. Then on Wednesday, the lady that accused the foreign minister of allegedly sexually harassing her will be our guest. One name Cummings Wilson will be our special guest on Wednesday night. Tomorrow is Tono Harris. We'll talk about LTA and the cell phone companies. Then on Wednesday, Mrs. Wilson will be in our studio. And then on Thursday, we'll have Quincy as always. Let me see if we can talk to the economist before we call it a night tonight. We can't seem to find George. Sam Jackson, are you there?
Yeah, my brother. I ran away from y'all so you and your man George Solo so y'all could talk good, my man.
Yeah.
And I just here watching everything.
And he did talk.
You know, ASHFORD Liberia. Liberia is a country. That's why I was telling you earlier, my man. We need unity. You know. Yes. Look, my man. Let me tell you something. The clash that the country going to, Liberia don't need any kind of clash. Liberia need could some people to sit down and see how is it that we can put some brake on the train that going down the hill here that ain't got no brakes. You got Judge ASHFORD. If it's about moving government from there, doing all kind of crazy stuff, a lot of us know how to do the kind of thing there. But you see, the thing is that the easiest thing to do, but to build a peace is the most important thing. I have seen a lot of upheaval in Liberia. And at the end of the upheaval, the thing is about building the nation. So, I prefer that, some people come together. Some people come together. And let's say, okay, if Weah is a problem, what are the options we have? But like Solo was saying, the opposition is very weak. The opposition is weak because the opposition got a lot of opportunities to see how they can checkmate George Weah. Okay, but you cannot checkmate George Weah if you don't come together, if you don't have a strategic plan. George Weah is a man. He got flesh. He got blood. The same way that you and myself are afraid to die, George Weah afraid to die. The same way you're afraid to be hungry, George Weah afraid to be hungry. And we speak with one united voice to George Weah. Say, George Weah, the thing that you're doing, stop it. And the country is looking like it's serious about it. And we take some harsh measures against him, not violent measures against him. They will come to themselves. The men are all the men from Maria there and from Liberia. The men look for the same thing. Okay, the men want to drink the liquor, they want to eat a sweet thing, they want to do the same thing that all of us want to do. So anything that obstruct that, they will not want to see it happen. War is not the only option. Election is a secondary option, but the most important option is what is it that all of us can do united, a united front, okay, to George Weah, all of the things that you are doing. This, and you catalog it. If you don't listen, you go to your first place, you go to ECOWAS. You talk to the ECOWAS, you're looking for regional peace and security. This is what our president is doing. I will undermine the peace in this West African sub-region in the Mana River Union. They don't want to listen. You come to Capitol Hill. You try to build alliances with the people.
But
okay?
Sam, my own thing here is, they can steal all they want, but the way people are dying now, the only thing me are concerned about, because I mean,
that is the desperate thing. That is, see, let's assume that they have gone to that level where they're taking human life. Okay, let's assume, and I don't have any evidence of that.
We all don't have evidence, but the way people are dying mysteriously, we can't point fingers until we find out who really doing this thing. And
exactly,
the president will have he has to step up and actually get behind these people to see who really doing this.
I agree.
those two children that were on Broad Street in that car, I mean, you know, I can say with a certain degree of certainty that something bad happened to them, because the man, Mr. Lama, he said he called his wife number that night. When he called his wife number that night, he spoke to the person that answered the phone. And the man that answered the phone said, "Oh, you want to see your wife? You will see her tomorrow. She will be in the car." And the man hung up the phone. That's what the man said with his own self. Okay, the gifty husband. Okay, so it's clear that there was an inside, there was some kind of job, right? So it means that they wanted to send a strong message. But Weah must understand, once you are head of state of a country and you start to see people dying, you are not the bravest man on the planet. You are not the strongest man on the planet. You bleed like anybody else. So the will of the people, you're not able, when Liberian people get together, 50,000 people get $1,000, that $50 million, they move from there tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, you move from there. Okay? So the thing that we are doing, you got to understand, he got children, plenty of children. And he got cousins, he got brothers, he got friends then. Some of them got to think about the children that they're born, get them, their Bapalu family. You know, when you do that kind of thing, you got to start thinking about the consequences to your family. To your family. To your family. Because when they start coming after you, they're not going to only come after you alone. They're going to come and clear all the people that are in front of you that are trying to block you. You know? So my thing is, my brother, we've reached a critical stage, and Solo told one thing that he right. The opposition is too weak. Cummings, Ureo, Joseph Boakao, why didn't they sort of call press conference and call international attention to the killings that happened in Liberia? It's been over 12, 14 days. You can't call press conference.
They're all jokers, man. They're not serious. They're all
jokers. You can't call BBC. You can't make a phone call to Buhari there in Nigeria there. You can't go and send a letter to the U.S. Embassy, to the State Department, and say that we are seeing those kind of killings in Liberia. You get involved in this thing before you go to another level. Look, ASHFORD, those people spend billions and billions and billions of dollars to bring the peace that we have in Liberia today. 17,000 men to feed them for 12 years. No, more than 12 years, for 14 years, from 2003 to 2017. They cannot afford to spend billions of dollars. So the thing is to engage them. First of all, let's engage our brother George Weah with a united front. You know, I always say with a united front. United front means we all get together, we agree. We're not going to cast out and tell on them making noise. Look at them like small children there. But when the real men then get together, the men with courage get together and say to George Weah that we are engaged in the international community. We're going to go out there and we're going to start some steps, some critical steps against you. Number one, if you don't solve these murders, we're going to ask for sanction against you. That's the first thing you do. The second thing you do, you say to the regional people for regional security in the Mano River Union and ECOWAS.
Hold our thought.
You want to see?
Hold our thought, Sam. Don't take your small brother. Hold our thought. Don't take this call from your small brother. I think he's on the line from somewhere in East Africa. Hello, Martin.
How are you, Mr. Garley, the giant? How are you?
Martin Cody, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well, though I'm disappointed by the situation in Liberia. But generally, I'm okay where I am. I'm worried about where our country is going. And I want you created this afternoon to host Mr. George Solo. I think you need to create similar opportunity for Solo to come back and say a lot, because he has a lot to say. I can tell you for a fact. Because the Molu you see, the McGill you see, the Koji you see, the Akaras Gray you see, all these people grew on George Solo. I am a living testimony to that. At that time, I was a student leader at the University of Liberia. All of them came from the tutelage of George Solo. So George Solo is normal. He knows what he's saying. He has pieces of evidence. All we need to do is to create a platform continuously for him to let these tackling revelations out. But what I can say to you, Ashford, and others listening, is that what we have in Liberia is not a government. It's a shadow of a government. The current establishment we have in Liberia is a shadow of a government. In fact, as I speak to you, you only have one branch of government working haphazardly. That is the executive, a domineering executive. The judiciary is dead. The legislature is dead. Let me just provide this information. I have reliably learned that the Chief Justice was denied U.S. visa from a very authentic source. So yesterday he spoke and said that the judiciary will ensure independent judgment on a number of cases. Why did he speak yesterday? Because he was denied visa, as I reliably learned. So generally, I think we should give George Solo more time to speak out. He has a lot to provide.
Thank you.
He has a lot to provide for the Liberian people.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you so much, Martin. Thank you. Okay, I'll take one more call and go back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Ashford.
We have, what's his name? Is he on hold? Okay. Let's take Ellis Jones, then we'll go back to Sam Jackson. Alex, you're live on the radio.
Yes. Thank you, Ashford. Very exciting show. But the point I want to make here is what Sam Jackson was saying, that you need to have a united opposition. You know, not just a united opposition, but opposition needs to be capable. They need to be reliable and respectable. And if you don't have an opposition that is, with a credibility, long, the killing's not going to stop. The suffering is not going to stop, because people need alternatives. And even if you went to the U.S., when they see this opposition, joke of an opposition, they'd rather keep the stability as it is than to change any government, because the opposition is pretending worse. And I heard Martin Colley's assertion. Yes, nobody is saying that this government is doing the right thing. Economically, the government has failed. Socially, to unite the people, it's failed to unite the people of Liberia. But you cannot talk about any kinds of violence or protests in the wake of an opposition that don't know the left from the right. So that's the only point I want to make.
They have to come with integrity. Okay, thank you, Alex. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Sam, we have a female on the line. After, we'll go back to you. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Tell us your name, please.
Hey, Ashford Madeline.
Hey, Ms. Mayanga, how you doing? A long time. It's been a long time.
Good. I keep hearing the guys saying opposition week. Why are they taking the whole thing on opposition? If we're gonna come together and support the political party, the joint political party, we need to stand with them. With this kind of gangster government that we have in Liberia, you cannot say opposition with. The opposition reports to everything that goes on. They report to United Nations, they report to ECOWAS, they report to American Embassy. They're doing all they can do. What you want them to do? People come and jump in the street? You can't do this. The Liberian people sat down right there when they had election coming, and there was a debate, and they decided to choose the gangster of a government to head our country. Now the people, they're killing people, slaughtering people every day, and it's taking the Liberian people, taking their frustration on opposition. What they want opposition to do? Fly and remove Weah. We say we are democratic country, and we need to wait for election. Now, when the people that are running in the country ask for taking on a daily basis, your life is at risk, and then you say opposition weak, and telling Liberians to defect for the particular having a telling opposition they're weak because they are now weak.
Thank you.
They are civilized people, and that's why we look for in Liberia, to respect one another and not take the country down the drain like what the CDC government is doing.
Thank you.
Look at their chairman emeritus. That means the only thing the government understand is people that sit there and insult each other every day. And that's not a Liberia we want. We want our children to grow up in tomorrow, or we want the future of Liberian children to grow up in. Thank you for having me, ASHFORD.
Thank you. We want to go to Virginia, where we have Miss Diamond Kennedy. Hello, Diamond. Welcome to the show.
Hey, the giant. What's up?
How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Go ahead and make a point.
You know, I was just watching the show and I see majority of the people hearing George Solo. Look, if George Solo were going to be in the Weah government today, you were never going to say anything. You were going to keep quiet and you were going to sit there and be exploiting the Liberian people. You know, the killing going to be going on. But because he's not there today, so he bringing everything else. So he cannot be trusted. Some of the things he say, I believe some and some I don't. Because, you know, he sat there and all these things were going on. He talking about how they were accepting money. So when he started talking about it, and he claimed that the Liberian people should, you know, should go after George Weah. He's supposed to say it when he was there. So because he's not in power right now, and they start lying, so he should come and be talking. Let him give a break.
Thank you.
You know, when he's serious, let him go in Liberia and say all that thing there. I will take it to be serious. Thank you, ASHFORD.
Thank you. Okay, let us go to Conor Gray. Conor Gray out of Minnesota. Conor Gray, hello. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Mr. Garley. How are you?
I'm good, my brother. Too blessed to be stressed, as always.
Yeah, my man. Don't be stressed, man. I can guarantee you that life is good. You know, I keep hearing all the time people saying that the opposition is weak. The opposition is weak. It's like they have certain people who have been designated to lead the opposition of our country. And even though we have official political organizations, but I still believe that if you are against what is taking place in our country, you really need to be pointing fingers at other people are weaker to mount pressure on this ruling establishment. And I think this attitude of shifting blame when it should be the entire responsibility of all good, loving, and patriotic Liberians. This attitude, whether coming from the Alex Jones, whether coming from the Samuel Jackson or whoever, I think the opposition now should be collectively all Liberians who are opposed to seeing the country going down the drain this way. People to shut up if they don't have the ability to mount pressure, but they want to be the good guy outside. Then let them play their you know. Even the Council of Churches have all joined in the fray, either on the side of the ruling establishment, or some are taking the high moral ground, which is the opposition. If you know that you are not in favor of this establishment, why point finger on others that they're not doing a good job? What happened to your own advocacy? Why can't you join the fray and join to mount pressure on this establishment so that our country can be liberated? Why are you pointing fingers like you have people you are paying out of your pocket to run the opposition? And everybody is saying the opposition is weak, the opposition is weak. Say certain individuals are weaker. You are part of the opposition if you're opposed to this government. Not unless you're in favor of it, then you're hiding. Then come out and say so. Say those who are opposed to my government are weaker. You know, and I'm only saying that. Thanks for bringing Solo tonight. And every time I listen to Solo, whether he should have said what he's saying today because he's not part of, you know, the bounty, it was God exactly who ordained that particular situation to turn out the way it is, so we can have a credible understanding of who this person is, my brother.
Thank you, Conor.
So I think God's grace will be around to provide overview, because some of these things can be adduced into future evidence.
Thank you,
We need
Conor.
them.
Thank you so much.
Whether or not. Thank you so much, my brother.
All right. Want to go to Duke out of North Carolina. Hello, Duke. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Ashford, how are you?
Good, my man. It's been a minute.
I know, you're here, man. We'll catch up later on.
Welcome to the show.
Ashford, you know what? Thank you, brother. The past two callers said it all. And, what's the lady name? She made
Madeline.
Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline.
Madeline,
Mayanga.
Madeline made a salient point, and Remy also made a strong point. As for, let me say this to you. I stand on my grounds of truth. I stand on the foundations of truth, and I think you know me well, and you know where I speak from. People say the opposition's weak. The opposition's not doing anything. We're not mounting pressure on George Weah. But the truth here is, right? Those are some of us in the opposition are some of the reasons why things are not working the way it needs to work. Because some of the very same people who complain about Weah and criticize the things that government officials are doing and some of these people are doing are the biggest hypocrites. They don't want to see the country better. It's just a matter of convenience, supporting the people they care about and not caring about the country in itself. When it has nothing to do with the people that they stand for, they take their frustrations on other people. For example, some of the very same women that are in the commenting tonight pay somebody to go on a live video to insult my mother for calling out Henry Costa and his decision to collect bribes during the June 7 protest. They don't like truth tellers. They don't like young people who are courageous enough to stand against those ills that we criticize in the government. And because of that, and because we have this level of dysfunction, this is why we're not seeing the level of success. Because there are too many people in the same opposition that they are criticizing and calling weak, who do not have the spine to start criticizing people who exhibit those same characteristics that you see within the Weah-led government. The Remy Gray said it best. Instead of criticizing, get in and change it. Instead of supporting people with the same tendencies, get in and change it. You can't call Weah and other people corrupt, but you sit there and allow other people to be corrupt. You can't sit there and see young people who are standing up and fighting for their country, and then you pay people to start insulting them, all because they were talking against people who are equally corrupt. The opposition have issues, not because of certain individuals who are in leadership, but because of some of these followers who are worshippers and they're no better than the seditions that they criticize. And that's part of the frustration as well. Our people are not serious. And you know what? A lot of times people tell me, Duke, y'all need to get some of the Liberian people are not serious. Liberians are not serious. It was the same people who voted George Weah in. Some of those who are critics of George Weah now and running around and insulting people and talking about the opposition, they were the same seditions. When we were telling them that Weah was not good for Liberia, they were countering us. Where were they? Today, they're the loudest mouth and the ones that are supporting people to undermine this process. So as for, I was just going to the end, I will say this to you. Look, if we want to get serious about change in Liberia, then we need to stop being hypocrites. We need to stop going behind the scenes, undermining people, all because we think we're a bunch of worshippers. The opposition can change things in Liberia, I agree, but we will not change things if the message that we're putting out there does not represent what an opposition stands for. You can't call George Weah corrupt when you support people who are corrupt. You can't talk about investigating murders and death and bribery when you support people who are the biggest protest, June 7, that should have sent some kind of message to the government was compromised. And some of the people who call for investigations in government do not were in the leadership to investigate characters who have been accused of accepting bribes and stuff from the same damn regime. You're all hypocrites. You're damn grievance seekers. You don't care about the opposition. You're arrogant tools. And that's part of the reason why we're having issues.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Duke. I'd like to recognize the presence of the light. The Senator, Honorable Darius DeLon, is on here tonight. We want to say hello, sir, and welcome to the show. We want to go to 0783. Please tell us your name.
My name is Grace Goa. I am the president of Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. I want to say thank you, ASHFORD, for the show tonight, and I also appreciate George Solo for coming up to speak. And when I listen to him, then I see where all these things coming from when it comes to the disrespect on women's rights in Liberia. And it's sad, that the new foreign minister was confirmed and appointed by he was nominated and then he was confirmed and then he was appointed by the president while he had sexual harassment allegations against him. And that's the reason why we, the women of the diaspora, we, the Liberian women of the diaspora, we're going to be protesting on October 16. That is Friday, October 16 at 10 o'clock in front of the United Nations building. And we're asking Liberians to come out and let's do this protest, because with everything that's going on, the disrespect towards women come from the deepest part of the nitty-gritty of what's going on in our country today.
Also like to recognize Mr. Henry Costa. He's on here tonight as well. Go ahead, Grace.
Until we can realize these things, nothing will come to fruition for Liberia. So we are calling on all the women of Liberia, the men. We're going to be protesting on October 16th for the United Nations building. The UN is expecting us. You need to come out. If we want to fight things that are going wrong in our country, we cannot sit back any longer and just sit and wait for other people to do it for us. We cannot just continue to sit and allow people who are always in the forefront to be in the forefront. We all can come together and speak. These days, we are not looking for a voice. Oh, I am the voice of the people. No, we all have our voices. We need to come and speak out for ourselves. And we have to tell the world that we will not accept Kemenya. We, the Liberian women in the diaspora, will not accept Kemenya as the foreign minister of Liberia because he was not investigated. And until they investigate him, we will tell United Nations that we will not accept him to be the face of our country any longer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Goa. I would also like to recognize the Ambassador Terry's Genesis in the house tonight. And then we have, we'll take our last caller before we go home tonight. The name is, guess who? Mr. George P. Lobo. My brother, welcome to the show.
Good evening, senior brother ASHFORD GARLEY. How you doing today, sir?
Mr. Moses Sandy is also watching. Welcome to the show, big brother. Yeah, go ahead. We're blessed. Thank you. Welcome, George.
Yeah, I want to say thank you very much for the show this afternoon. I also want to thank George Solo, former chairman, for the courage. Let me say this real clear. I wanted to make one or two points here crystal clear today. To those of you who believe that the opposition is weak, let me be very clear to you. It takes a lot. One thing we all say in the opposition is that the CDC were not organized, they were not mature. Anybody could call for protest, and there was maybe the reason the opposition will only be strong if you see us in the street with casket. That's your understanding of being strong. There are many different ways to mount pressure on the government. So you listen to the opposition recent statement read by our chairman Cummings that we are engaging civil society organization, we are engaging the Rainbow Coalition so that we can be able to engage in a sustained political process. Folks, let me say this to you. This thing will not happen overnight. Liberians, we know, are very emotional, but we need to understand the country that we want to build is not one that demonstrates that every single day we just put people in the street. No. Putting people in the street has turned out to be something not for profiting. We can't be part of that. We criticized the CDC yesterday for getting every time the CDC protested, President Sirleaf received an award. Every time they did something, Ellen was recognized. So we need to be strategic on how we intend to get in the street. And the way we're going to do it, those of you who call the JMB, the Cummings, and this and that weak, if you believe they are weak, Liberia have multi-party political system. You do not belong to any one of these four political parties. Then go to your party, you'll get in the street. Join the former pressure group, you'll get in the street. If you believe we are weak, we all want the same goal, which is to liberate the country. But we want to do it in a different fashion. So that brought over 25 political parties. Why is it only 4 political parties you acting that exist in Liberia? This notion of disrespecting our leaders to please your emotions, we need to desist from it.
If you have recommendations or suggestions to bring to the table, I would suggest you bring it. Some of the people you criticize today are called weak and term them whatever characterization you want to use are some of the finest public servants you've had. Some of them are successful outside politics. So this notion that everybody is weak because you don't see or toting casket, you ain't gonna see George the tow casket on Broad Street. I won't forget it. If that is what you call weak, then we are weak because I ain't towing no casket. You ain't gonna see me take nobody underwear in the streets and say we're gonna cause havoc. We're not doing that. So we know the way we man pressure, and I want to George Solo for coming out and doing what he did today. And Mr. Garley, I know your show, you pride yourself as a very responsible platform. So some of the wordings were tough today, but at some point in time, you know, it was good for him to express his frustration. The only thing I gather from everything that he's explained, some of us were not surprised. We've been convinced that President Weah of then candidate George Weah had nothing to offer. So George Solo validated our argument. He just confirmed everything we've been saying about the president. So we want to thank him, and I hope, Mr. Garley, you can do a part 2 of this show. I want to appeal to you because I strongly believe that
everybody
next
is
time
asking
just
for
give
part
him
2.
a chance.
So
I strongly believe that if you give George Solo a chance, he definitely will put a lot out for us. And what he has done for us is helping us to build a case against President George Weah and his group. So I want to say thanks to all of you. We all don't always have to agree. We all got different approach, but I think it's about time we give people the chance.
Thank you, George.
CPB is not the only full political party that exists in Liberia. If you believe the way our approach towards things is wrong, then form your party, form your pressure group that says you the brave man, you're strong, and then go ahead and lead from there. We respect the jurisdiction of our leadership, and that's where we stand. I want to say thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Garley.
Thank
That
you,
is my
George.
take on this issue.
You know, I love women, so I think we'll climax with a woman tonight. But folks, tomorrow night we're going to play host to Mr. Tony Harris. We'll be talking about the LTA and the fight against the cell phone companies. And then on Wednesday, we'll also have Ms. Wanning Cummins Wilson, the lady who accused the Foreign Affairs Minister of Liberia for alleged sexual harassment. So she will be in our studio on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, as always, we'll have Quincy T. Julie. We'll have Miss Javina Cold on the line from Texas. Javina, hello, welcome to the show.
Good evening, my brother. Thanks for picking up my call. I typically like to listen, but I had to put my 2 cents in tonight. Very interesting show. Let me just put it out there. Whoever want to insult me after I say what I want to say, feel free to do so. My kids don't listen to Facebook or all that. My parents won't hear it. Just me, and I'm immune to that. But I wanted to talk about a gentleman I was giving all those revelations. I don't know him, but just listen to him. Other than what he was saying, he sounded intoxicated to me, which really is not the point I'm making here. What concerns me the most is that he knew all of these things. He planned these things with his friends, planned, units, create units that will kill people. It was part of the abuse of women and children, was part of abusing state resources. And now the marriage has gone sour. And so he's upset or whatever it means he's using to spill all this out, which is wrong. And then I'm reading the comments, I've been following this, and everybody's hearing him and they're happy about that he's bringing all these things, which we already have heard out there, But he's saying all of these things and people, oh, well, thank you for saying it. But you have a young lady who came forth and said, hey, or whatever, a minister or whoever, foreign ambassador sexually harassed me, and people telling her, you're lying. It's not what you were wearing. You want him. He wants him to lose his job. What a contradiction there. Why the same people that are healing this man who was part and parcel of all the problems we have now, why are those people, where were these people not healing this woman as well and say, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. I know how shameful it is and how disgraceful for you to share your story or your deep secret. Where are those people? Where everybody, shame her, blame her, for the most part, not everybody, let me not say that, for the most part. And so I think there's work that needs to be done. We all can agree, but we have to rebrand and rewire our mindset about certain things. This man, of course, most people know there's no credibility to what he's saying. I don't care whatever it is. He cannot be trusted, but you are part and parcel of this, and you cannot tell me anything now. You cannot tell me. I don't even want to hear it. And so we need to be conscious when we're healing people who are part of all of this. Now we all have, I would say, there's a common enemy here, George Weah. So everybody's, yeah. So how about holding responsible? He had full knowledge of everything he was doing. He had his sound mind, and he was leading the process in every bad way. How about that? How about people calling and saying, you know what? We don't want to hear that. You are our problem. So go sit down and let us figure this out. He's not telling us anything new. Everything he disclosed tonight, we knew already. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, ASHFORD, for having me. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And folks, I'm afraid that's all the time I have to be with you. God willing, I will be back tomorrow night, 8 till 10, with Mr. Twan Harris, as we talk about LTA and the cell phone companies in Liberia. And then on Wednesday, we will play host to Mrs. Dwani Cummins Wilson. Until then, folks, remember the road to success is always under construction, according to Steve Harvey. It might be tough at times. It might seem like you're going down the drain. You might feel used by others, but don't give up. God is still working on you. He's preparing you for a better task in the future. A bald-headed man does not walk on the moonlight. Tough times don't last, tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, and there's no second chance to make that first impression. But when men know your friend black man. Don't see okra and swallow bone. The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia. The brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. ASHFORD the giant, the now you know me Garley. Have a good night.